shit. God, that's so upsetting. Of course I forget to turn my microphone on. Not just because I always forget to turn my microphone on, but I brought Miles in here and he ripped the loudest fart I've ever heard in my life. Guess that's just for me now. That's just for me. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Let chat know that sound comes in. Oh, snap! Thank you. Oh my god, barbecue for the win. For the first super chat of the nude deer. True, actually. That is true. The nude deer has not yet been celebrated. That's true. I know. No one heard the fart. This is so tragic. I was like, oh, this is about to be the best intro ever. Like, I couldn't find Mochi, so I couldn't do my typical villain intro. But I was like, oh, well, I'll just bring Miles in. And he just ripped ass, and it was so funny. All right, go on, buddy. Go on. Go on. Go all the way on. Go. Go. Breaks my heart, too. But I did take him for a super long walk. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for bearing with the classic audio issues that come with being a Dadvocate. When you found out that you're muted and you unmuted, you scared me. Jump scare. We love to start off the stream with a good jump scare. Yeah, so Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your holidays. I've been gone for a bit. Let me see. I really like the things you talk about, because most of you haven't talked about these things that have needed to be said for years. Thank you. Thank you. Hold on. I gotta close my office door. This boy is hyper. Dude, go on. You were doing so good just chilling right before I decided to go live. Go. Thank you. Go on. Go on. Dogs are dramatic. I'm sure you guys understand. How's your New Year's been? Any insane, crazy stories? Any amazing gifts that you guys got? TJ got me this cute stacked rock necklace, which I thought was adorable because it is my favorite beach activity. And I love that. We've taken a good couple of weeks off. And there's been so much that I've wanted to talk to you guys about, truly. It was so hard to pick one topic. One part of me just wants to dive right into even more cheating Chelsea news. If you've been keeping up with that, it has kind of taken over my life. If you don't know anything that I'm referring to, basically I started covering a major, I guess it wasn't even that major until I started talking about it, but covering one of the weirdest lawsuits I've ever heard of about an infidelity business and affair coaches versus a betrayed spouse, which has resulted in me getting a cease and desist. I do intend to frame it. I'm trying to figure out where it might look best. Maybe like just, I don't know. Is there any room here? Where do we think? Maybe next to the YouTube button? I don't know, though. It's a great cease and desist. It's very hilarious. And it's my first cease and desist ever, you know? It's such an honor, honestly. And so much chaotic shit keeps happening, too. I have, honestly, so many updates. Yes, there's more cheating Chelsea. Even more, honestly, since last night. If you are a YouTube member or a patron, you already have access to the newest filings in that court case. For the rest of you, just enjoy this live, and then it will be available to you shortly after the live. So, not a bad deal, I would say. But if you're like fiending for the cheating Chelsea news, that's where you're gonna get it first. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into all of that today, but I do highly recommend getting in on the coverage of it because I will continue to be covering it a lot on this channel until the bitter end, until the case is over. I just gotta see it through till the end. I've really latched my jowls into this one, you know what I mean? So I have to. If you're sick of it, I'm sorry. I will be producing other content. I have been, but, I just, this is one of the craziest things I've ever covered. It's just, someone referred to it as my white whale. I'm like, damn, taking down like an Ashley Madison cheating business, being my white whale. You know what? Like, I'll take it. I will take that. Cheating Chelsea, doubtful to win in court. Like, I gotta say, it's not that she's without her fans or without her supporters. It's just that every single one of them that I've personally encountered is dumb as fucking rocks, honestly. Like, all of their brain cells are here, stacked up on my necklace. I harvested them, and now I wear them as a trophy of my conquests. It's... some of me, I feel almost bad, you know? I'm like, damn, like, they're almost too low-hanging of fruit. You know what I mean? Like, you know how sometimes you see people who are just, like, so dumb that it almost doesn't matter what's coming out of their mouth? You're like, there's really no point in even correcting you because everyone who sees this knows what it is, so we don't need to draw big attention to it, you know? But what's crazy is that with this whole Cheating Chelsea account, it seems like for a really long time, no one did recognize what it was. I'm starting to hear from like thousands of people now, at least hundreds of comments endorsed by thousands of people, indicating that they thought that it was satire this whole time. You know? Jack, Happy New Year, so good to see you. Jowls, I said nothing about the wall, I swear. Wait, is that a literary reference that I don't get? Are you referencing like the manosphere wall? And in which case I'm not making the wall to Jowls connection. I'm so sorry. Have you sent more ciphers for me to solve? Do I need like a dragon's claw for this one? I don't understand. Okay, but that's the Cheating Chelsea stuff. There's all kinds of other stuff that I had lined up for the first stream of the year. But then TikTok got hit with a whole new story that tons of you are tagging me in. People are already having opinions on it. And it seems to be a situation that has just blown up over this last week. So today's theme of the stream is the Chad2Dad passport bro situation. Have you heard of this? Anybody in the chat already familiar? Let me just get a little sounding board of the prelude, the preliminary thoughts. Anybody not know what a passport bro is? I'm happy to tell you. If you're not familiar with passport bro culture, essentially the idea of a passport bro and living the passport bro life began based on a shared experience of men expressing the same similar sentiment that they're kind of sick of dating Western women. There's a lot of complaints about my people. It is said that we are ungrateful, we're spoiled, we expect too much, we're difficult, too feminist is another one. A whole laundry list of complaints about my species. And some of them may be understandable. You know, I understand us Western modern women are far from perfect. But as a solution to this, a lot of men have decided, it's in the name, right, to get their passports and start looking for better prospects overseas. Now, there are a lot of supporters of this, and some of the best support for this comes from a lot of truths about dating intercontinentally. One of them is that a lot of people from other cultures on the non-Western sides of the globe do say that Western men are preferred. There are a lot of cultures where Western men are seen as like the pinnacle. It's said that Western men are more emotionally intelligent, they like that Western men are more feminist. They like that they're more in touch with their feelings, that they're less misogynistic. There's a lot of people who just say that Western men are more attractive. It's just a thing. Right? So some people say that there's nothing wrong with going where you're wanted, right? And finding love in a different place. And a lot of people say that it actually is a fair type of relationship, right? Because a Western man may be able to provide more financial stability and those emotional prospects that we discussed earlier, whereas, you know, a younger, differently cultured bride might be more grateful. They might appreciate the lifestyle of being brought to America. And they might be able to provide a new insight. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. And quite frankly, I'm not directly opposed to being a passport bro. In and of itself, black and white, I'm not going to say I'm opposed to it. However, those who are opponents to the passport bro lifestyle criticize it as being what some of the commenters have already brought up, just another version of a mail order bride. They see it as actually deeply misogynistic, that you're trying to, essentially go out and buy a woman. Some people even say that they're trying to target vulnerable, impoverished women who don't have the same advantage, that it's a power dynamic issue. So there's a lot of criticism to it as well. The way that I tend to look at it is I see it as kind of a case-by-case scenario. Some guys kind of unfairly get the passport bro label just because they ended up meeting someone overseas. Some guys fully embrace it. They're like, I know exactly what I'm doing and why, and some of them have better motives about it, and some of them are truly like, I just hope that I can get someone who's uneducated and half my age, right? I'm sure that there are people on both sides. And I've actually always wanted to get a passport bro on our channel for an interview. And I remembered that I actually did speak to someone once who was like, hey, I'm reaching out because I want you to know that I actually am a successful passport bro. If you look at my page, you'll be able to see that, things are actually working out really well for me. And I was like, damn, that's so interesting. Like, I've been wanting to interview someone, like, let's stay in touch. And for some reason, I forgot about it. Other things came up. But I realized with this latest drama that's hit TikTok that passport bro was the very same Chad2Dad that we will be covering today. So who knows, I might be able to secure an interview with this man and get his take. But a lot of you are like, what is even going on? So let me get into it to the best of my ability. Let me take a quick scroll through comment lane real quick. Okay, so in to address this comment left by HP Lovecats, username by the way, says Magtow, and no, I do not think Passport Bros is even under the same umbrella necessarily as Magtow, but maybe on like adjacent pipelines. Magtow stands for Men Going Their Own Way, and I'm very anti-MAGTOW. You know me, men need women, women need men, we all need each other, right? But MAGTOW is specifically like, we don't like women anymore. We will not rely on them. It's basically like 4B for men. Like, they will not procreate with women, they will not date women, they will not marry women, like, women is a no. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, obviously Passport Bro cannot be under the umbrella of MAGTOW because they're going to the women, just not Western women. Maybe MAGTOW Woo, like men going their own way away from Western women. Maybe that. Let me see. Yeah, you're describing MAGTOW. Okay, but not exactly. Kind of. All right. Oh wow, now some of you guys are getting into like deep inter-commenter backstory lore. Okay, my dog literally sounds like a tea kettle going off. I don't think I gave him enough outside-y time. So, I'm going to introduce you to our characters of the day in just one brief moment. Miles comes first. I'm going to let my dog out, throw the ball around a little bit. I will be right back. I'm not giving you the BRB screen, though. You can just hear the chaos of our house while y'all get to know each other. All right, buddy. You will not die. Oh, gee, there you are. Where have you been this whole time? You come say hello to the chat while Miles goes outside. You adorable, precious creature. Okay, while Miles goes to the bathroom, I do have some precious cat tags. Oh my god, he looks so cute today. Like, he looks cute every day, but like... What's a little baby? Oh, the Mocherton. Would you like to purr for the camera? Yes. Tell them you consent to this. This is just like ASMR, right? Like, I know that this might take up like too much of my streams sometimes, but like, if you had this cat, you can't tell me that you would not be just like constantly doing this. You know what I mean? Like, if you could just like... My husband was going on a tangent the other day, actually. He was just like, babe, your cat is huge. Your cat is like the size of a dog, dude. And I'm like, yeah, he's a robust boy. He's a chonkerton, all right. Would you like to go down? Okay, one quick ding dong, and you're free. Let me go get that dog. Oh, how's your brother doing? Miles, where you at? Oh, he's off on an adventure. Hello, Mosher. Do you want to just be outside for a while? Okay. All right, well, I have to listen out for a bark. I can also see him out this window. Look, he's part husky, so he might be out there for a while. Okay, we'll get into it. Let me introduce you to our characters, okay? So
somehow my ex-wife got dragged into this story.
I don't know how to make these videos
as
pause
the
when we're
sponsor of every
profile. I'm so sorry.
Somehow my ex-wife got dragged into this story
for a quick second.
as the sponsor of everything that I'm broke and my ex-wife paid for
some dogs.
the Disney World trip, the airfare, and everything.
We are just
and that's interesting because we just worked out the bill
I want to say it's so
to reimburse her because she did book the Disney World trip as a matter of convenience.
Okay, look, let's get into this.
But
character number one.
I owe her back $803.80.
This is Chad2Dad. No bio yet, 42,000 followers, definitely not insignificant, pretty monetized. These are the videos that we're going to get into today. No spoilers yet, though. I want to give you guys kind of the grand idea of Chad2Dad prior
2 years, literally to the day, December 27th,
this is how the general public
for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized.
Is nothing to scoff at.
Hate
okay,
everything
it
about
seems
me
as though,
and what I provide,
and I don't think it's
decide
likely that all of these videos suddenly received all these
Welcome
views
to the
because
shittiest
of the
post that I'm
recent
ever gonna
virality.
make.
I've never seen
There's a lot
every
to it,
video
and I'm not
with
gonna
these
go
kinds
into
of
it,
numbers
okay?
following
But
viral.
suffice to
so
say,
it seemed as though his content was pretty well received
and going on the Disney
as a
World
passport
trip,
bro prior
which included
to
the funeral for
all
my
of
mom.
this happening.
I got up to
Now,
day 6, I think.
Our second character. Let me go ahead and pull hers up.
A day in the life of a Filipino housewife. Kapag sinasabihan ako na gold digger or nakaahon sa kahirapan, hindi mo nakikita sa page na to na i-defend ko yung sarili ko kasi somehow, totoo naman na nakaahon ako sa kahirapan. 4 days naman pala nakikita na ng mga bata yung mga lolo't lola nila. Hindi ko i-justify na nakapag-aral naman ako, nakapagtapos naman ako, at kaya ko naman mag-work para lang mapatunayan na hindi ako gold digger. Most of the time, kapag nakakabasa or nakakarinig ako ng mga ganito, tinatanggap ko na lang because I know that I have better advances here and also I open a lot of doors, not just for me but also for my family. Kung ang definition nito ay gold digging, it's totally okay. Sometimes you have to be honest with yourself and also check your reality.
Thank you. Yeah, I do appreciate that from you, by the way. If we ever need a wholesome break at any point, which we might,
it's really impossible for me to be here and also to have this opportunity.
I do have a master list of some
wholesome stuff, so we can take a little break in the beginning. Hindi naman sa dinadoubt yung sarili ko, pero yung reality, ang hirap makapasok dito sa US. Lalo na kung wala kang pamilya or wala ka naman talagang business to be here in the US. Pero kung mayaman ka, artista ka, or anak ka ng senador or nasa politika ka, napakadali na makapunta dito. Nung sinundo namin
effectively, and both of them seem to be doing really well on this platform, with the majority of their videos getting like views in the 6 figures of thousands, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing pretty successfully on here. So, you know, how did we go from, right? It was maybe a year ago that I first heard from Chad2Dad saying that he wanted to feature show. Today, there seems to be all kinds of disaster. So I'm gonna go over the chronology of disaster, and then I'm gonna go through some other videos that I found, and I want you guys to tell me if you would consider these red flags or warning signs of what was to come, or if maybe these are just the ways that we are going back in time and contributing onto these moments because we're maybe only seeing what we want to see. You know, can we look at this from 2 different sides and separate ourselves objectively and see both sides, or is there a right side? Is there a wrong side? A lot of this too, by the way, I went through and I took the chronology of who posted what and when so we can get the full scope. But a lot of this is going to be me blind reacting to, I'm not going to lie. I'm also so sorry to everybody whose cheers I missed. Let me try and catch up real quick. Oh, I just caught yours. I'm going to read Oh My God Barbecue for the wins first, though. I'm so sorry, Mute TikTok, can't hear you. Oh, shit, I'm so sorry. I thought that I muted it from my end, but I guess I did not. I'm so sorry. God, that's gotta be so annoying. I just did all that explanation and it was terrible. Autistic sensory overload. I'm so sorry. Oh God, you guys just donated so much money to tell me not to be a dumbass. And I don't deserve it. I should refund you all. Girl, we haven't been able to hear you for a while. TikTok is loud as... I am literally the worst. I am literally the worst. I am so sorry. Okay. So we're going to want to just timestamp a big chunk of this video. I might just cut it later. I'm sorry. Oh God, blame it on the new year. Yeah, I'm going to blame it on having taken 2 weeks off myself. That is the worst. Okay, let me start over. Let me just start over here. Okay, we've got, this is Chad2Dad. He is our passport bro. Okay, quick facts that I've learned. Chad2Dad is almost 60. I believe he's exactly 59. Was married once before. And his backstory is that he was married for a significant amount of time. He doesn't seem to have anything negative to say about his ex-wife, but very abruptly at the age of 50, after a full marriage of being child-free, decided that he suddenly wanted to have children, and so he divorces his wife and then starts online dating, attempting to find someone from overseas, successfully meets Jayan, our second major character in this story here, who was 23 when they met. They've been together approximately 2 years, so I'm gonna guess she's around the age of 25 now. So a little more than half of Chad2Dad's age. That's my sign. Okay, Miles is now barking to come inside, so I'm gonna pin this thought, getting Miles, be right back. Don't worry, Mochi, I'm getting your brother. Okay, Miles, if you're gonna hang out in here, you gotta lay down. Shh, good boy. Okay. Anyway. So, both of these pages are pretty well received throughout the 2 years that it takes for I know they're long distance for a while. They met through a chat website or a chat dating website. I want to say like something like OkCupid, but don't quote me, just something like that. They're long distance for a while, and then he eventually just goes and gets her, and this is when they start blogging together. They end up having 2 children together. Okay. And like I said, generally pretty well received. Some of y'all are still roasting me in the comments. Deserved. Let me recover. Let me stretch. Okay. So what we're going to get into today is what I'm calling the rise and fall of the passport bro, because it seemed to be that we went from the highest of highs of passport bro life. You know, he seems to have accomplished what every man who wants to be a passport bro sets out to do, right? He went and found this beautiful young little baddie, made 2 beautiful children with them, and is now just living the dream. I don't know what greed is good means. We'll get into it. You know, we all use clickbait sometimes, you know. So I have assembled a chronological list of the events that have invoked this latest drama that is taking TikTok by storm and has everybody commenting and having an opinion. A lot of this I have not seen yet. I'll admit I have not watched all of it. So a lot of this will be us blind reacting together. And what I want to do is go into this as objectively as possible, maybe even play the devil's avocado as I like to do, just to see if there's any perspectives that we may be missing on this. Or we'll see if maybe there's, you know, just one good guy and one bad guy. Okay. Let me get off these profiles so I don't have to mutilate your eardrums anymore. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let me pull this up. Oh, 80s movie? That makes more sense. Okay. Oh yeah, actually, there was 3 TikToks I wanted to show you guys before we get into the drama. You know what? No, I covered these things. I covered the age gap. I was just going to show you guys, like, that he's 31 years older than her, but I think we established that. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to make sure we covered. Okay, yes, I do want to watch this. So I wanted to give you guys an idea of how, like, generally well received this content actually was prior to all of this. Like, even though this video is not one of the more popular ones, as you can kind of see from just the view count here, but it kind of goes to show at least why I think people did follow this account. But let me read this real quick. Doom for Zombies. Thank you. Thank you so much. I truly... my imposter syndrome is off the charts with the audio issues, so I truly appreciate all the donos. Happy New Year, and it might be good to say what a passport bro is for those who don't know. Oh, I don't know if you missed the first part of this, but I actually did define passport bros at the beginning of the live. We did get that. Unless it was, like, mutilated by audio issues, but I thought we did. And it is in the description of the YouTube video, actually. Sorry, but thank you for the 5. It would be a good idea, and that's why I did it. Okay, let's watch this.
I don't know who needs to hear this. In 2020, Jayanne was 23 years old, and she had her whole life ahead of her. I was 54, with a whole lifetime behind me. One thing we didn't have, but both of us wanted, was children. Well, fast forward to April of 2024. Anne is turning 28, and I'm turning 59. Look at our children. It's been a joyous but difficult road. We've had many arguments along the way, but what keeps us moving forward together is the original dream. A young woman wants adventure and to pursue her dreams. An old man is set in his ways and wants the freedom he enjoyed while single. But at the end of every argument, we come to the middle. She becomes a little wiser, and I become more flexible.
They're so goofy.
At the end of every day, we're committed to the choice we made. We set aside our individual desires for the sake of our children. The world belongs to them now, and we are merely guardians and guides. We're gonna do great, and we're even gonna have a couple more children. The real challenge that we face is not too far down that road when I am gone, and my wife and children have most of their lives left to live. It's a reminder that our lives are extremely short and not that important except to the ones we love. Put your ego and your attitude aside for something greater and take it all in, moment by moment. Those moments are much, much longer than the years.
All right, their kids are cute. I love, she's got to get the angle right too. She's like, oh, you're getting off screen. So yeah, like this is pretty cute. I will say, I think this might have gotten lost with my audio issues earlier, but part of Chad2Dad's story is that he actually was married prior to this, but then very abruptly, after a long, seemingly happy marriage, he said there was really no major issues, but they had a child-free marriage, and abruptly at 50, he decided that he wanted kids, so he divorced his wife, and that's how we got here, right? Meets Jayan. Now he's got his kids. So obviously this can be received in a multitude of ways. I think that one of the more common views of this type of relationship here, you know, when they see a couple like this on the beach, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking like, okay, is that the grandpa of the children? You know, like a lot of people are thinking, okay, this must be a sugar daddy situation or something like that, you know? But what do you think? How many of you guys think it's possible that maybe this is just what she wants? Maybe she just genuinely does find him attractive, wants that stability, thinks this is best for her kids. What do you guys think? I'm curious. Familiar with the term mail order bride. Passport bro is a bit more inclusive. They favor the South Pacific, Philippines, Thailand, etc. I did notice that. Who cares what they think? They're enjoying their life, says So Luna. Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of the way that I first saw this when I first spoke to Chad2Dad. Like I said, I think it was like a year ago when he reached out and was like, you know, I'm a real passport bro. I'll tell you about it. So I was like, I mean, yeah, if you are telling me that you found success, if your wife is also here on the internet telling us that she's happy and feels successful, then like, who am I to say? But there's a lot to be said for the fact that, you know, people only really show what they want to show to the internet. Obviously, you know, I am not posting every single argument or like bad time in me and TJ's marriage, nor necessarily should I. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're being dishonest or even that you're in trouble necessarily. But there's a lot to be said for both sides. So, hold on. I think there was one more video. Let me kind of do a quick scan of this one and see why I saved this. Okay. Nah, we won't. We'll just get right into it. So, all right. Aw. Christopher, thank you. Hearts for you as well. Yeah, that's interesting, Josh. Actually, I want to read Josh's comment because he brings up a good point. Josh says, historically, that's what marriage was in other countries for economic reasons. Yeah. I mean, honestly, being able to marry for purely romantic reasons is kind of a modern luxury. Like, marriage pretty much was like exclusively financial or for power reasons, like Game of Thrones-esque dynasty shit. So all of us married for love, yeah, enjoy your privilege. Okay, here's the very first video that started all of this, okay?
Well, it didn't take long. It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized, hate everything about me and what I provide, and decide to leave. Yeah, well...
I gotta stress to you guys, this video is at multiple millions of views. And if you guys measure a video's controversy or success, or just generally the way it's received by ratios, the way I like to, you can see the controversy in the numbers here. It's at millions of views, 55,000 hearts, but also almost half of this number are comments. Now, we all know that it's a bad sign if there's ever more comments than likes. That's what's called like a major ratio. Like, you're cooked at that point. But this shows a major mixed reaction already off the jump. There's some people who saw this immediate tagline, the first 20 seconds of him being like, well, only took 2 years, and I guess she's just gonna leave me now, where half of the people are like, oh, dude, she sucks to use you like this. And the other half of the people are like, I mean, what did you think was gonna happen? So let's hear what else he has to say.
Welcome to the shittiest post that I'm ever gonna make.
That's funny, actually.
There's a lot to it, and I'm not gonna go into it, okay? But suffice to...
Okay, it's also funny that he's like, I'm not gonna go into it, and I have like 7 more videos lined up to show you guys. Let me know if you want me to put it on double speed at any point.
To say, after providing and going on the Disney World trip, which included the funeral for my mom, I got up to day 6, I think, on that, because it all broke down at Magic Kingdom. Fucking ironic.
I'm sorry. That's going to be on a t-shirt. When we look back at this time in internet history lore, we're only going to think it all broke down at Magic Kingdom. But okay, I want to pause on this because there are details that I don't remember all of what happens. I'm blind reacting to some of this newer stuff. But some important details to remember are that he's saying he paid for and funded a big trip to Disney for the whole family. And this is kind of where a lot of the issues start happening. God, what else did he say here?
Fucking ironic. To say.
Okay.
But suffice to say, after providing and going on the Disney World trip, which included the funeral for my mom.
Okay, that was the other detail that I didn't even think about. So while this is all going down, and I'm saying this strictly for devil's advocate purposes, I want to just be as objective as I can. Dude just buried his mom. So a lot of people are going to judge how emotional he is, or the way that he talks, the way that he's reacting to things. I feel like it's fair to at least afford him the grace of, you might not be in the best headspace, you might not be at maybe even your kindest while grieving your mother. But I'm also, like I said, I'm blind reacting to a lot of this, so I might reel that back real quick. Okay? Also, Matt, this Disney ruins everything, even funerals. I will say, if you take your kids at too young of an age, or if your kids are just like not trained in traveling or like long walks or being out in the sun, Disney might not be a great time for you now.
I got up to day 6, I think, on that, because it all broke down at Magic Kingdom. Fucking ironic. And I didn't post anything after that because when we got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia, I was greeted with the announcement from Jayan that she wanted a separation.
All right, I have to pause there real quick to read. Oh my God, barbecue for the wins. Don't know. My GF wanted princess treatment, so I married her off to Poland to strengthen our alliance. That's a great joke and very apropos on the passport bro subject. Thank you for that one. So worth the dono. So, okay, did he say it was when he got to Orlando?
From Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia.
Okay, it's immediately after the trip. So, yeah, Magic Kingdom, the sparks were not flying in the good fireworks way, no.
I was greeted with the announcement from Jayan that she wanted a separation. And then I discovered through text that she had been discussing this with her family and making plans to also take the children. So, that's heavy, right? That's
yeah.
a nuke. And I'm gonna go into my bunker. So I came downstairs.
Yeah, this is a great time to read this dono real quick from Jason. Thank you so much, by the way. Jason Rasmussen says, so basically a triple loss. Mom, wife, and money. 4 if there are kids. Yep, there are kids. There are kids.
In my nice 4-story mansion and just stayed by myself through Christmas Eve and through Christmas Day.
4-story mansion. Jesus.
And I missed Christmas with my children.
Oh, wow.
My in-laws, my mother and my father-in-law, and Jayan, they proceeded to open the presents without me. Presents of which, all of which I bought. Yeah, the separation is a separation. I'm lucky enough to have a big house and the logistics of it can be met right away, but I spent Christmas utterly by myself. And it's coming up on New Year's Eve and I'm still alone. Because there's no communication from her. Why? Because she's communicating with her parents.
That is really crazy, though. I have heard that about when you live in a mansion, it can be like days in between when you see the other people who live in that house. So, like, when I first heard this, and I'm like, well, what do you mean, like, you had to spend Christmas by yourself? Just go downstairs, you know what I mean? But obviously, I recognize my privilege here because it's so easy for me to say I've never been in a position where I am a man who has been told, like, I don't want you to be anywhere near me. In which case, you know, I might be a bit more reserved given, you know, the culture around men going places near women that the women do not want them to be. I can get why he might be like, I don't want to poke the bear or rile the bee's nest.
She has the total backing and validation of her parents. Plus TikTok. All external sources of validation, and it's my position, my feelings are not relevant. She's got it figured out. She's got a plan. I'm waiting to hear what the plan is, and we'll see what happens from that point. But I'm pretty. I'm at peace with what has occurred, what could occur. I am done being Mr. Fix-It. Fix-It Felix. I'm not going to be the simp, nice guy, Fix-It Felix anymore. A relationship takes 2 people. And...
Okay, before he gets into this, I don't think I've watched the full video. I just want to say, like, from the beginning of this, I can see why there were a lot of people who kind of were on his side, because without knowing the details, I have talked to a lot of men who have been in this situation where, you know, they felt like they were trying to do everything right, even if it's not conventional, and all of the sudden they're just faced with like, okay, well, I'm leaving you, I'm not happy, I'm taking the money, I'm taking the kids, and if she's planning on going back to Manila with her family, that means she's taking the kids out of the country. Like, that's her plan. And that is a lot of men's biggest fear. That is the part of the story where no matter how it ends up going, I don't want to underscore the gravity of being in a situation like that, or have anybody think that a man deserves to be put in that situation just on the basis alone of, well, what did you expect to happen when you married someone so young? You could ask that to anybody in any relationship. What did you expect to happen when you dated a guy who did this? Da 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 da. And it comes down to, well, you need to pick better. And isn't that the thing that we always say is not a good defense if something bad is happening to you? Like, if you, no matter your gender, no matter your age, were told that there was a chance that someone could take your children to a foreign country and have you be completely separated and alienated from them, I think you'd be shitting your fucking pants. Like, I would be, okay? So I get that there's a lot of mixed reactions in the comments of people who are like, well, dude, they thought he could buy love, you know? And yeah, absolutely, you're entitled to that opinion. But says Aaron's like, nope, I'm holding the torch to this guy. He did need to pick better. So there's obviously a lot of mixed opinions here. I at least can relate to understanding why this guy is freaking the fork out right now. But it looks as though the kind of common opinion here seems to be like, well, you brought this on yourself. From a legal standpoint, though, I am curious to see, like, what really can be done. But, like, before we really get into this, the children, it is my understanding, were born in America. Therefore, they're American kids. So if they want to become formally Filipino kids, I'm imagining there's a pretty elaborate process they would have to go through. But then again, I don't know, because I can't tell you how many men I've heard from who married a woman with connections to another country, and the next thing you know, they're just going to visit family and they never see their kids again for 10, 15, 20, maybe years, maybe never again. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if she truly was, you know, like, I love you, I'm gonna let you raise these children with me, like, I really want to build a family with you, and it's not like she was a child when she made these decisions, right? Like, they met when she was 23, she was a grown adult in the working world, had, you know, established, you know, we're going to learn, she did not come from poverty, okay? She made a commitment, maybe to a much older man, but debatable at that point, you know, whether or not she was completely unable to make her own decisions. She made a commitment, and if she decides, like, anyway, I'm going to take this bag and your kids, is she fully in the right just because she's a younger woman and maybe it was a little weird of him to try and date someone so young? You know, what do you guys think on that? I'm curious. Now, here's the other thing is, like I said, he divorced his wife so he could have kids, and this woman says, well, he abandoned his first wife. What goes around comes around. That and that's a fair point too, you know, if we're being intellectually and morally consistent, and one of his points is that it was fair of him to leave a wife that he made commitments to because his goals changed, his aspirations changed, what he wanted changed, then by that prospect, JN's allowed to do the same exact thing, right? That's a great point. Samantha says, these passport bros need to watch 90 Day Fiancé. There's been a lot of references to that. Before deciding on being a passport bro, there's even a follow-up series that covers how they're doing after a few years. Isn't that what Ed became famous for? Hold on. 90 Day Fiancé Ed. Yeah, dude, like, come on. If this was not your lesson, if we learned nothing from Ed, then what even can we learn in this world? It's useless. Okay, let's speed run through this passport bro drama. I gotta know what's up.
She made the decision for the separation. She's made the announcement and made plans with family to take our children back to the Philippines. And She's an adult. She has accountability. It's on her to come to me and explain to me what her plan is, such that it is, and what can be done about it. So, surprise, no more countdown with the great fun in Disney World. It was a fucking disaster. And, that's the truth. Social media is not about the truth, but I'm about the truth, so that's what I give you. Thanks.
All right, we got to see the comments discourse. Let's see these hashtags. Goodness. Reality, Filipino wife, scam, gold digger, in-laws, validation, Christmas, New Year's, 2025, children, divorce, nuke, separation, family court, child support, lawyers, cash, sue me, abduction, kidnapping, alienation, alone, presents, see you in court, good luck, future, survivor, been there, done that, heartless, cold, broken heart. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're going through it. I just came in from Jan's response to this video, and my take is, you thought you'd found a submissive woman you could mistreat, and us Americanized women don't stand for it. Ooh. I love that his first wife is probably watching this on repeat with her feet up and a glass of wine. Merry Christmas to her. Oh, I want to read this take from Zombie XO. Zombie says, the scam was mutual. He just wanted a 20-year-old bride and she wanted a green card and his money. You know what? I feel like this is where I'm kind of like a little bit neutral on this. You know what I mean? Because like I said, some people point out that maybe some red flags were there. Okay, like, but let's just get into the next video. So before we even get a response from Jan, we do get another video from him. I believe this was either the same day as his last video or the next day. I'm going to keep it on 0.15 speed so we can blast through this.
Woke up this morning to almost 1,400 comments on my last post about my wife requesting a separation. And the only thing I'm going to say about that right now, and not get into any details, although I know you all want to, hear more of the story, is that the reason I went public with what's going on. And I did that because I believe in this situation, transparency is the most important thing. I think it's the most important thing in any problem. Just be honest. Now,
I mean, well, yeah, transparency is important when you're communicating to your partner, but transparency isn't necessarily important for like the entire internet on like the world's biggest social media platform to get like dragged into your bullshit. Like, I think that we might accidentally make the crossover in our lives between like, well, we show our life to the public, so the public deserves to see and deserves to know. And, we often as audience members have that same feeling like, I deserve to know this. I'm so invested already. But I think that the transparency piece is definitely a lot more important when communicating one-on-one with your partner, not necessarily just like sharing everything with TikTok before you've really had a chance to hash things out with them.
We've gotten to this point because there's been a little bit of dishonesty from Jan in the form of texting.
Hold on, let me read this other comment via I'm a Reindeer. I immediately distrust anyone who says they're the victim while using that many SEO tags. Thank you for putting into words what I was feeling. Like, while I was reading all of those hashtags, I was like, man, whenever people do this, it makes me feel some type of way, and you nailed it. Thank you so much for that.
With her family and people behind my back, discussing things that she really should have just come to me with first. That was our agreement from the beginning of our relationship. We've struggled with it, and that deal was broken, and so I'm not talking to anybody behind her back. I'm talking about our problem to the world. So that there's no
Wait. Is that better or worse? If you make an agreement in your marriage and you're like, let's agree that if we have problems with each other, we bring it to each other first before we, talk to our parents or talk to our friends, right? Like, I think that's a really good rule to establish in a relationship, but like, you're saying, I'm not talking about you behind your back because I'm blasting it to the entire world. No, I think that's 10 times worse, because if the whole problem with them going to someone else about the problems before they come to you has to do with like the betrayal aspect, the trust aspect, the, you know, having the reputation smeared and the well poisoned before you get a chance to truly talk to each other aspect, if that's the problem, then yeah, bringing it to the internet before you get to talk to each other is definitely 100 bajillion times worse than me just like going on Reddit about it even, you know?
Mistake that.
Oh, let me get this back up.
I am sincere and authentic in everything that I think and feel. I may not be right, and I'm probably not right in a lot of cases along the path that has gotten to this point. And I will be the first to admit my mistakes, where I'm somewhat the bad guy. But overall, transparency is the key. And this is the new digital age we live in. This is a form of communication. Jayan and I are not talking. And maybe it'll make things worse. Maybe it'll make things better. I don't know. But
okay. I want to address a comment. Owl Hatch says, so he doesn't want her talking to her family in private. That's a red flag. There's very few occasions that people should not talk to their family. So, agree and disagree. So I think this is kind of like what he meant. I don't think it's that he like doesn't want her talking to her family, or that like he needs to be able to have access to every conversation that they have. But there's a lot to be said for the fact that if I go to my mom, for example, with like every problem that I'm having with TJ, there's a not zero chance that my mom's opinion of TJ will become permanently altered, especially because it can't possibly be changed by the day-to-day basis and sacrifice that I see TJ making for me outside of those like niche arguments. And that's a very common thing that happens. That's why a lot of people are like, you know, certain things you really shouldn't tell your family about, because while you might forgive your partner, they may never forgive your partner. That's one of the things to look out for. However, if you're like, there's obviously certain things that like, no, don't hide everything just to protect your partner. If you're feeling genuinely unsafe or maltreated, for example, then like, yeah, that rule gets to be broken and you get to break it to your parents first. Yeah.
at this point, I just want a way forward without me making unilateral decisions and pulling triggers, right? So stay tuned, because I would love nothing more than for Jayan to come online with me and say what she wants, to, you know, tell us her plan, right? To see where this can be fixed, if it's fixable at all. Honesty and authenticity. That's all I want.
Yeah, he's panicking right now. He is definitely freaking the fuck out. So, okay, I was gonna say ask can you shall receive, but I forgot this dude actually made a shit ton of videos before Anne even gets to say her piece. She will, though. She will. We're gonna keep it at the 1.5 speed, though. We gotta get through Yap City somehow.
It's the morning of New Year's Eve. Tomorrow will be 2025. And Jayan and I, we still haven't spoken. But last night I saw a race in Rocky. After an appointment, I brought home McDonald's. And I just put it on the counter and I sat on the living room couch.
That'll fix it. Man, you ever just, like, blow up your entire family at Disney World? And you're like, ah, shit, brother, how am I gonna fix this? And then you're like, I know. Some Happy Meals and a king-size fry, baby. That always brings them right back. She's gonna be begging for this 60-year-old schlong after some chicken tendies, baby. That's so funny. Okay, so they have not talked at all, and I just want to stress again that, like, if you have not watched these videos and this is the only context you have for the situation, like, you're probably already assuming that he's the one who fucked up, because you're like, what? You won't say what she did wrong. So I'm like, I'm sorry, but whenever someone is like, yeah, like, I just got, like, I'm getting broken up with, but they're kind of vague in the details, I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? Because we don't know what happened at Disney yet.
And Race came down first. I didn't even know he was where he was. I didn't even know he was behind me. He came up behind me on the couch and just tapped me on the shoulder. And then Rocky came down the stairs, and she shouted, "Papa!" and bounced down. Both of them climbed up on the couch with me and just started jabbering away.
Jason says, my ex-wife thinks my parents need to check in on her. Oh man, is she mad that after your divorce, people didn't treat her like your wife anymore? That's crazy.
It's been a week since I'd seen him. And I moved into the kitchen counter and I busted out the French fries and the McNuggets, and they gobbled it up. I had texted Jan that I was going to be bringing home McDonald's for the kids, and she gave a thumbs up to that, so all was good. And then
this is just so interesting to me. So it's been a week since he's seen his kids while living in the same house as them. Like, I don't know who's avoiding who or like how it's come to this point. He hasn't said that there's been any kind of like threat of like, if you come near me and the children, I'll do this, that, or the other thing. So I don't know. I understand why people are drawing the conclusion that he's just avoiding his family, which is also another sign of a guilty conscience. So again, like, I went into this trying really hard to be like, you know, I don't fully understand the passport bro thing, but I do understand how scary it would be to be like abruptly left and not know where your children are going to go. But like, I don't know. I feel like if I was in that situation, I would be doing my diligence to be integrating myself into my children's lives as hard as I possibly could to avoid that. You know, that would be my first priority. So I'm like, what is going on where you're not seeing your kids for a week, but then when you do show up with McDonald's, everyone's fine with it? So like, would they have been fine with you being involved this entire past week and you're like self-victimizing? Like, this is kind of where I'm going. He gets to live child-free. I like it. Levi, that wasn't his goal, though. He was trying to have the babies.
after they wolfed down with more fries, Rocky said, "Up, up," which means she wanted to get down from the stool. And then she...
Uh-oh.
She took my hand and she led me to the living room.
See, okay, here's one thing. Like, say what you will about this guy, and I'm sure we'll all have a lot to say, right? I have no doubt in my mind that he loves his kids. From everything that I've seen, I do believe him when he says that he wanted to be a dad and that he loves being a dad. Okay, I don't know what has truly prevented him from seeing his kids for a week, but like, I believe that this moment is real.
She jumped up on the lazy boy and Race joined us, munching on more nuggets, and I put on Monsters, Inc., and we watched a movie for about 45 minutes, and Rocky got tired and she scrambled back upstairs.
Also, it's so funny that like his whole thing is like, my Americanized Filipino wife is leaving me. And like, their kids are named Rocky. You speed ran that Americanization, okay? Y'all named your kid Rocky. That is not a traditional Filipino name, okay? You Americanized her, sir.
And Ray stayed with me until he fell asleep.
Okay, yeah, Erigar, this is what I mean. You know, good men gotta hold men accountable. Says if he loves his kids, he needs to get a lawyer and stop talking about this publicly. When you're right, you know? Sorry, I don't even know if you are a man. I saw Erigar and it sounded like a male dragon name. Does that make sense? And so I just mail coded you. I'm sorry.
So I carried him up.
Lauren says, are you telling me they don't have rocks in the Philippines? If this is how I go down as being like cold-clocked racist, Lauren, the dadvocate, said they don't have rocks in the Philippines. She is ignorant as fuck.
And I put him down against Jan's back, and I left them together so they could sleep. And I came back downstairs. Of all the comments that I've received on the last video that I did, the ones that stand out are the people saying that I neglected my children on Christmas. I didn't neglect them. My staying away, my staying downstairs is to honor the separation. but it's also for everyone to see what that means, what that separation means. It was intentional. And I am heartbroken by it. But
okay, I'm not liking that, because that definitely makes it sound that not being with the children on Christmas was not only his choice, not prompted by Jayanne, not encouraged or recommended by Jayanne, but was his choice, and the choice was made for the deliberate purpose of making them feel his absence. This is just me putting words on the situation, right? He obviously did not say this verbatim, but I'm getting the sense that he did it to basically punish her, essentially. It was to say, okay, well then if this is what you want, then this is how it's gonna feel. And, like, maybe Christmas isn't the exact time to do that. Like, trust me, divorce always hurts. Like, there's even the people who do, like, speed run marriage as a means to an end to get a bag and get out, like getting in, getting out, it's not like they don't have to go through shit either, you know? Like, the odds that she's gonna feel your absence are very high. You can still spend Christmas with your kids and, like, get that same effect. So I'm gonna vote boo for that decision. I understand the thought process behind that, and the kind of, like, you know, maybe if she feels how bad it sucks for me not to be there, she'll want to come back. I get that, but not the right move for the kids on that one.
the stakes are high, and everyone needs to act with intention and clarity.
Okay, wait, real quick. SVR says Christmas is for drama and divorce. Not wrong, though, statistically. Not wrong at all.
So, that's an update. Thank you.
Okay. So we learn a little bit more in that one. We come to find out, like, okay, so he kind of shot himself in the foot on Christmas Day there. We've got one more from Chad2Dad before we get to hear Jayanne's side of things. Every single time he starts the video, he does his dramatic glasses ripoff. And I don't know if he does that on purpose for, like, dramatic effect, like if he just, like, thinks it looks cool. The way that I like to start my live streams, with the audio off on purpose, because it's just a really cool thing that I think is awesome. Or if he, like, always forgets that he's wearing his glasses and he's like, oh wait, it's gonna look better without them. I don't know.
It's the morning of New Year's Eve. Tomorrow will be 2025. And Jayanne and I, we still haven't spoken. But last night I saw Race and Rocky. After an appointment, I brought home McDonald's. And
wait,
I just put it on the
McDonald's
counter and I saw him on
again?
the
Or
living
is
room
he
couch.
just rehashing the same?
And Race came down first. I didn't even know he was...
Oh, I think maybe this is just the same one I watched already. Sorry about that, guys. Did not mean to get repetitive. Oh, yeah, I just posted that twice. That was my bad. Okay. Let's get into Jayanne's response. Yeah, it's the same video. I'm sorry, Punslinger. I'm an idiot. Oh, so Luna, yes, ask something real quick before we get into Jayanne's response. Let me see. I'm also going to read Charles here while I'm here in the chat. No judgment, but it is hard to be a normal dad when you still have the knife in your heart. Yeah, and that's exactly where I want to do my dadvocate thing. Like, not just being a devil's advocate, but also, like, an advocate for fathers. Like, you know, because I hear dads get a bad rap for a lot of different things. And, like, staying away is, like, one of them. But a lot of people don't understand how difficult some situations make it for you to be, like, as involved as you want to be. There is so much nuance to these, so I really wanted to afford, you know, as much charitability as I possibly could, you know? Let me see. Okay. So Luna asks, I would like to know, what's the best video you covered and what's your favorite memory? A Devil's Advocate channel. I mean, I kind of do be Devil's Advocating. Oh man, the best video I ever covered, that's so tough. Because I've, like, covered a lot of, like, really cute and wholesome moments. I've covered a lot of, like, really important things. The wife strike memory is definitely like up there on my favorites just because it like started off as one thing and it took every insane roller coaster twist. Like the fact that she was fully creating disguises and alternate identities and like masking her voice to pretend to be her husband, and there was the drama of like hacking into each other's accounts. Like all of that unfolding was definitely core memory. I have to admit the Chelsea lawsuit is another one of like my favorite things that I've ever covered. Like I said, I know that some of you are sick of me talking about it, but like you have to imagine this is literally Ashley Madison round 2 Electric Boogaloo, like almost to a science. Like Ashley Madison, a dating website created for cheaters that gets hacked into and a bunch of people are exposed and their lives change forever. And there's major class action lawsuits where people who were hurt from it get pretty decent payouts. Now we have The Other Woman and the Wife, LLC, which is a coaching business for cheaters that experienced a data breach where people's identities and information was exposed, and now there's a lawsuit. And it's just, obviously the one got its whole own Netflix documentary, and I'll be damned if this one just gets swept under the rug and she gets to pretend like this isn't some of the most deranged degeneracy I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, I would say wife strike was one of my favorite things I've ever covered. That was so crazy. But also, I also want to stress that I think wife strike is doing really well now. I think that she's completely changed as a person and is actually like doing really good in life. So I'm actually really happy for her, but I could be wrong. And then Cheating Chelsea is my next favorite. And then also all of the partner praising series I've ever done. That's funny that you say that I should make a green flags video. I was going to say, yeah, the partner praising is some of my favorites, but I just forget to cover it because I do, when I get angry about stuff, it can sometimes become my primary emotion. So sometimes my anger leads me to cover more anger things than wholesome things. I'll work on it. I promise. Okay. Let's get into Jay Ann's response to all of this. I'm also going to put her on 1.5
well, it didn't
speed
take
too.
long.
Oh, it's already there. Okay, it's already there.
It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized.
I think the word Americanized has nothing to do with someone who is disrespectful, especially to your people. Let's say that your closest people. It's because he disrespected my parents, screaming, snatching some things, verbally and physically. So what I am thinking that time, you are freely disrespecting me and abusing me. I think that's enough. You can do it. You can do it 24/7 to me. You can do it anytime. But to the point that you're going to be disrespecting my people, especially my parents, I think that's what, draw the line. I think that's when the time that I said, I want to separate. It's not because I wanted to separate just because I wanted it. I've dealt a lot with him for the last 2 years that I am here.
We got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia. I was greeted with the announcement from Jayan that she wanted a separation.
For the last 2 years, I am standing up for myself. I know it's really difficult.
It's also really sad that she's describing him like screaming and snatching things, and she says, you can do it to me 24/7, but don't do it to my parents. That's so heartbreaking to me because it's like, why do you think you deserve to be screamed at 24/7? Especially in front of your children? Like, okay, I might have to reel it back a little bit if that's really happening, because screaming is not cool. I don't care what gender you are. I really don't. If you're screaming at your partner, that's violence. That's not cool. You're being toxic. You're trying to intimidate them. You're trying to scare your partner. Why would you want to scare your partner? That goes out to anybody who screams at their partner. You gotta stop. You gotta, no. Bad. Okay. A lot of us couldn't hear her properly. A few words. Yeah, there's, I won't say a language barrier, because I feel like she's pretty decently well-spoken. But is the audio low? Let me know.
Difficult because I have children. And
the captions help
I honestly doesn't want to separate with him. It's just came out of my mouth. that I'm so fed up, I'm so done, it's because I'm so hurt and he's not gonna change. There's no way that he will change. All I know is if I didn't stop or I didn't make a move, it's gonna be a normal. He's gonna disrespect me, he's gonna disrespect my people.
I love this comment from Key Controller. Found a submissive wife and still screws up. I truly like, why in the world are you picking fights when you're about to go to Disney? Like, what happened? Why are we doing this when we're about to go to Disney?
He's gonna disrespect anyone. So this is just me that, putting some boundaries.
Hate everything about me and what I provide and decide to leave.
He claims that I hated what he provides. As far as I remember, I'm always grateful for him. I'm always vocal, thanking him for my life right now. You can see my social media. I never criticizes him. It's always praising, even though there's something going on inside our house. I will never speak or talk about our fights on my social media. It's because I am protecting him and I'm protecting my children. We have kids, The next 10, 20 years, there's going to be social media and they might see this. I think it's really selfish for him to post for views, for attention, for sympathy. If you can go up here and talk to me and you will say to people that out of transparency, I will talk about it, but you are transparent to the public, but you are not transparent to me. Just for clarification too, half of the trip paid by his ex-wife, all of the park tickets, Universal and also Disney World, it was paid by his ex, and also the Airbnb and the grocery.
What? Okay, now she just dropped a bombshell. Did you guys hear that? So this trip to Disney, to Universal, the Airbnb, groceries, half of this was funded by his ex-wife. The one he just abruptly left at age 50 and was like, bye. What? And didn't he just tell us that he funded it? Didn't he just use that as like a whole big thing of like this trip that I paid for? Like, damn. I have to admit though, I mean, bro's got some kind of game going. If he was not only able to pull a 20-year-old to come move to America and have 2 kids with him, but also get his ex-wife to then pay for their vacations, dude's gonna have to sell a course. I gotta say, I definitely don't want to be this guy's financial advisor or anything, but if you need help paying for the divorce, there are definitely some leftover Andrew Tate fans who would pay for your course, bro. That's crazy. I have to know why in the world she would fund that. Like, I started to think, well, maybe if they have kids together, it's because she wanted, but they don't. That's the thing. Like, it's not even like she, I don't know, maybe she, like, views herself as, like, a grandma figure to the kids. What would they even have to keep in touch with? Like, if she went on the trip, I could see her maybe being like, oh, well, I'm way more, better off than, this family here, let me pay for you guys, maybe, but like, you're not even going? Why would you pay for it? That is the craziest detail in all of this so far. What? Is the ex-wife okay? What? Wait, Mjolnir says, that's okay, my ex-wife lives with me and still makes me dinner, lunches, etc., coffee when I want it. Okay, but wait, that sounds like you guys live together. It sounds like whether there's a romantic relationship or not, there's still a domestic relationship. Like, when I had roommates before my husband, we would make each other dinners and get each other coffee if we were in the kitchen and none of us were fucking. You know what I mean? Like, that's way more normal. She wasn't even there, though. She's not living with these people. Why would she do that? What? Is it like a crazy, like... Okay, this is like a deep, deep theory. I'm like really trying to pull from the pockets of psychology of why a person might do this. Like, maybe it's a competitive thing. Like, maybe she's still trying to like win him back by like flexing her wealth as like something she can offer. I'm truly trying to like figure that one out here. Omnifarious says, I also have difficulty seeing my own mistreatment and find it much easier to see when it's happening to someone else, especially someone I care about. I think most people are that way. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's a lot easier to be like, okay, it's fine when it's happening to me, but the second it happens to someone else, like, that's when my eyes are open.
I just wanted to let you know too that we have a really good relationship with the ex-wife, and to be honest with you, she's really nice to my kids and she's really nice to me. She's like my closest mother here in Hawaii. I can talk to her anytime, and she's really a good person. And I remember when we were in the mainland, she told us, my parents and me, and she said that this is my gift to you. You are wondering why my parents came over because
okay, so we get a little bit more insight. The ex-wife is giving this as a gift. I don't know, like a token of goodwill, I guess. Like, that's very kind. Wow. Jason says, as much as I love that you are here helping men, but truly, social media has destroyed more marriages than helped. I don't even know what the stats on that are, but I would give that one to you, actually, because even though marriage rates I don't think have like significantly spiked, I think that we can all agree that social media has made it much more difficult for people to stay in long-term relationships because of all the things of like the presumed idea of there being so many more options out there, the ease of being able to talk to other people and to cheat. So I would agree with you. I think social media has caused a lot of harm. I don't think that it has to be the death knell of your relationships if you're smart about it and choose your partner wisely and with discernment, but it's definitely an obstacle.
Supposedly go back to the Philippines for 3 months, just me and the kids. It's because I am really homesick. I've been here for 2 years. He promised me that we're gonna go back to the Philippines at least once or twice a year, but that never happened. And so I kept on telling him that I need to go back. It's because we have activities, like my ate is gonna get married, my big sister, and I am the maid of honor. And also I wanted to do some christening for the kids, and also I wanted to spend Christmas with my whole family. It's been 2 years since they haven't seen Race and they haven't met Rocky, because I gave birth to Rocky here in Hawaii, and it's just really family thing.
This is really valid. I'm like, I have some Filipino knowledge by association because, like I said, my stepson is Filipino. So I have come to understand a lot of things about Filipino culture, and one of them, from what I've understood, at least about our local Filipino population, is they're very religious. And so everything that she's saying about like wanting to do the christening, wanting to be there for the wedding, like these are very big deals. They're big deals in American culture, but they're also like big deals in Filipino culture.
To go back, and it's just sad. It's because fast forward to the booking day, I already booked going back to the Philippines, and then that same day he canceled it too. It's because he said that I'm ungrateful. It's because I didn't say thank you right away. It's because at that time I got excited. It's because the ex-wife said that she's gonna come same day, same exact day when he booked it. He canceled it right away, and I don't have any choice. It's because I don't have money. I don't have any control about.
Oh, that's messed up. I don't know if you heard that part, but basically she's saying how, from the jump, when they first started getting together and he knew that he was bringing a Filipino woman over to America, that she had been saying, I want to go back and visit my family. I want to go back and visit my family. And he's saying like, yeah, no problem. We'll do that. But, 2 years come and go and it doesn't happen. So finally they're talking about it happening. I believe she said she was going to go for like some significant period of time to do the wedding, to get the children christened. She said something about her artist, which I don't know what that means. Maybe a tattoo artist, perhaps. Which, that's another thing, as there are like very specific Filipino style tattooing that is deep entrenched within the culture as well. The point is she wants to go home. She doesn't have to justify that. She's from the Philippines. She wants to go back to the Philippines. Like, okay, we don't have to talk that deeply about that. This was one of the agreements when he knew he was going to marry a Filipino woman, that he was going to be pretty responsible for helping her maintain her connection with her family and her homeland, And here he is playing with her, booking the trip, and then canceling it immediately because she didn't say thank you soon enough. Like, okay, it's not kindness if you hold it over someone's head and make them dance for it. That's not actual kindness in a relationship, though.
And I discovered through text that she had been discussing this with her family and making plans to also take the children.
Okay, so this is where he shows the texts, and like, I gotta say that he's doing double the work here, because not only is he like finding a way to go through her phone, which we have discussed is federally illegal to access someone else's text messages and then especially to share them. That's 2 crimes actually. But then he actually like had to go through and translate that, which that couldn't have been very easy. There's no like quick button on the iPhone that's like translate this from this to this. You gotta like copy paste into stuff. He was doing the work to figure out what they were saying. Justin says, my AI romance bot on your likeness says you're single, so I was wondering if you're busy for the next 40 to 50 years. Oh my god, Justin, thank you for reminding me. We need to do that on live. I almost forgot. That was going to be my first live, and then this happened, and I was like, all right, I want to dive into this. But oh my god, yeah, that needs to be the next thing we do on live is interacting with my AI romance chat box. Oh my god, that's so funny.
My ate, my big sister, is back in the Philippines. I contacted her about what's going on here. And then I told her that my mom is going to go back same date with my papa. And she needs to book for my ate. But that didn't happen. It's because they had to rebook the ticket for...
Oh, by the way, I know this one. Ate means older sister.
them to go back to the Philippines. It's earlier because my papa supposedly go back to the Philippines.
And Tita is aunt.
On January 5th, but that didn't happen. They went back home yesterday, December 30, and they arrived at December 31. You know what's really sad is that my parents are very excited, especially my papa. He thought that it's gonna be a great trip, but it's disaster. They came here just to be disrespected. They stress na sobrang stress ng mga mukha nila.
This is just like upset Tagalog crying.
A good time here, pero yung nakuha nila yung pambabastos.
More Tagalog.
Sobrang sakit ng ulo ko kasi nakita ko yung mga mukha nila.
Sorry. I know some Tagalog thanks to my stepson, but not this much.
Nasasaktan sila, pero wala naman silang sinasabi. Pero nakita lang dalawang mga mata ko na...
I don't know when we get through this, but she is genuinely upset.
Alam niyo, walang ginawang masama yung mga magulang ko sa kanya.
If you're Filipino right now, you're probably like, bars, go off, sis. Okay, so the rest is very upset Tagalog ranting, basically. So we've learned a little bit about how the Disney trip became a disaster. We're going to learn more details soon, but essentially, dude was a total dick to her family when they came to visit, essentially, which is like really surprising because I actually found this other video.
I am older than my father.
Sorry.
I am Kunat.
Oh my god. Sorry. Yeah, I found this video, which is like earlier than this whole drama. This was like just a couple of months ago, right? Like, where was this at?
I am older than my father-in-law. This is part of my shout out to the Philippines series and featuring Renato Cunanan, my wife's father. He is the coolest guy that I know. This man has done everything for his family. He put his 3 children through private colleges, and he was a bad boy in his day, but he turned it around to make sure that everybody had what they needed. It's a big reason why I knew that Jayan was the right woman for me, because she had a great father, and her respect for him was tremendous. And that was important to me. On one of my trips there, I wanted to honor him the way that he honors his entire family. I bought him a brand new Yamaha Aerox. When I announced at dinner that I was giving it to him, he cried. The man had never received anything that luxurious in his life. He had always given so much, and when finally getting something, it just overwhelmed him. We took a long scooter ride across the city, and it was one of the funnest times that I've ever had. And here's what's really cool, folks. He secured a tourist visa to America, and he is going to be here for Christmas this year. So get ready for a lot of exciting videos and posts with me.
Oh god, this didn't age well. Oh man, I didn't get to this part of the video when I queued it up. Oh, that did not age well at all.
My father-in-law. Here's something I want everyone to know. My son, his grandson, when he was sick after birth with meningitis in the intensive care unit, my father-in-law came to me and said,
he looks just like
do
his
you have enough
grandpa.
money? And he told me how much he had and said, I'd give you it all. No, I didn't take Papa's money, but that's the kind of man he is.
And then I don't know if that's licensed music or what, but yeah, like, that's so crazy because I remembered I did see this kind of content back when I first looked at this guy's profile, and it's like, it seemed like we had everything there to have a successful Disney trip. Like, everything from this video seems to suggest that you understand the work this man has put in. You respect this man. You are ready to give this man a great time. What went wrong? How did we get from point A to point B? Wow. Anyway, on to the next video. After Jayan's video, we get to bring in the new year with Chad2Dad. Oh, this one's a quick one, actually.
Welcome to the top floor of my 4-story mansion in Honolulu, Hawaii on New Year's Eve 2025. And you know why I know that my Americanized Filipino wife is not gonna leave me? She's pregnant. She may not love me, she may not want me, but she needs me. And that's what love is based on. Need. Don't fucking kid yourselves. Okay?
Could he have timed the fireworks better, dude?
Americanized Filipino wife is not gonna leave me. She's pregnant.
The timing of that is crazy. I understand that these are real people with real lives, but it does not feel like it right now in this moment. Yeah, what in the fucking baby trapping, dude? Like that. Oh my god. No, don't get me wrong. It takes two to tango. They've already made two. There's no reason for me to believe that the intercourse leading to this was anything but consensual. I'm not trying to imply nothing. But to be like, to really and truly and unironically be like, do you want to know how I know that she's not actually going anywhere? Boom, baby, because I knocked her up. What you gonna do now? Huh? Who's gonna provide for you now? Like, it's just not a good look, buddy. Oh, God. And then, like, the perfectly timed... What?
She may not love me, she may not want me, but she needs me. And that's what love is based on. Need. Don't fucking kid yourselves.
So marriage could be based on, but not...
Let's enjoy this New Year's Eve.
This is definitely one of the most terrifying videos I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot believe this is real. No, these are paid actors. They're... he, like, owes some kind of debt, and they gotta do something real quick to get out of that debt. And the ex-wife is, like, also their talent agent or something. That's the only way this makes sense. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, let's just get into it. Aaron, you missed it. I highly recommend going back just like 3 minutes real quick. Kelsey says, so Stockholm Syndrome is what he thinks marriage is. Unfortunately though, I can kind of see how he got here, because I have seen from his page that, like, the passport bro thing is not the only deeply, like, red-pilled manospheric ideology this guy has. I've seen him talk a lot about things like body count, for example. That tends to be a very, like, red pill, manosphered out talking point that, like, most normies are not actually worried about. You know, things like that. And when dudes get, like, really deeply red-pilled before, like, we're able to properly pull them out before they get too, like, entrenched in it, they do get this mindset of, like, if I cannot be the 6-foot-tall, dark, and handsome alpha Chad with tons of money, then she will leave me for someone better. This is just the statistics. We have the infographics on it. We have the pair bonding to cite our research for this, and they, like, get really, really deeply in their heads about this. And I see this all the time, even in my own comment section, of guys who are like, yeah, well, you know, it's all fun and games till she leaves for someone better. And it's like a constant, deep, like, scratching insecurity that's just, like, picking at them. It's really like the thorn in their lion's claw. A lot of these guys, they'll have seemingly everything going for them. Like this guy, he lives in a mansion. He's got enough money to leave a long-term marriage without any fear. He's very privileged in so many ways, and yet this insecurity, it seems to haunt him deeply and implode things that he otherwise had complete control over, things that he otherwise could have really flourished in. And yet like this constant concept of like, well, I gotta put her in a position to where she can't leave or else she's going to, like, that's what ruins things. You know, when you create a self-fulfilling prophecy at a certain point. Like when it comes to this particular passport bro situation, like what came first? Her gold digging intention to steal everything from you and leave with your kids, or your constant insecurity that might happen, that you started doing all these crazy things to try and prevent it? You know? That all being said, let's just watch the video. I got it on 1.5, right?
All of you around the world, 2025, from Honolulu to Hawaii. Now, if you've been following me, you know that for the last week, my life has been really bad. I've been separated from my wife, Filipino, but I'm imported because I was a passport bro.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, it is clear that more than one Smirnoff has gone down our gullets on this New Year's celebration, but I implore you, men listening in the chat, please, if you want women to not hate you, strongly advise not referring to your wives as the Filipina I imported. 'Cause, like, Buster, you're really trying to get us to, like, steer away from the narrative of, like, I think I can buy women, and then right when we're about to leave that road, you get us right back on track to it. Like, you're not helping. Like, it's not other people who are poisoning your well. You're doing that. You're making yourself look so bad.
We have 2 children. They're my children. Don't question the DNA.
Oh,
And we recently had a big problem.
Okay.
You know, I tried to do the grand thing with the big family trip, brought our parents over here, and that connected my wife to her parents, and the family bond to the Filipinos is the most important thing.
Yes.
And it bothered me, so I insulted my wife's parents, and that pissed her off to the point where she said she wanted a separation. Now
like, he is fully telling on himself. It's hard to hear because of the fireworks, but this man just essentially said, I know that in the Filipino culture, family is the number one thing. And again, very true from everything that I understand about Filipino culture. You knew that when you imported her, but then you still chose to get mad that she didn't stop doing it as soon as she came over. Like, how can it be that you're upset that your wife has become Americanized, but then you're also upset that she's holding on to her cultural moral foundations and ideologies? Like, pick a lane. What do you want? Do you want her to be like the conservative, submissive woman who her father raised, or do you not want that? I don't understand. Talking about trying to have your cake and eat it too. You did that on purpose. You decided that you started to get upset by the fact that she loves her family so much that you tried to sabotage it. Yeah, buddy, you fucked up.
walk that back, go watch her TikToks. But that's how emotional she was about it. Whoa, what's going on? It's been a bad week. And I thought that this whole thing would culminate, he said, she said, and both of us getting a chance to tell our own stories. But that's all been wiped out by the fact that Jayanne is pregnant. Yeah, she got pregnant on Thanksgiving 2024. She's 5 years pregnant, so fuck off. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a family man. I'm stepping it up.
What a crazy drunk statement. she's pregnant, so fuck off. Like, what does that mean? This is not like the Trump card you think it is. It actually means you're 10 times more screwed. Samantha says he wants her to care about him and his kids only. And again, if that's not the intent, it's certainly the impact at this point, unfortunately.
I stepped up to be there in the most crucial way that she needs the most. After I dissed her family, cut her off. She's got me. I'm not letting her die. 3 children. I like it that. That she gets like total emotional support.
Okay, I think we basically got the gist of it. He's like, look, I just found out I'm going to be a dad again, so none of this matters because I'm going to step it up, and she's going to see that I'm going to step it up because she's trapped now. She literally can't go anywhere, so she has no choice but to see how emotionally supportive I am. Sorry. That might have been a bit reductive take, perhaps, but I don't know, was it, or fair summation?
My Filipino wife has been...
Okay, sorry it keeps playing before I get a chance to show it to you. Just auto-plays, you know? Let me see some of these comments here. This video was, I win. The pulling out the pregnancy test was so wild. I feel bad for everyone involved. Yeah, dude. Okay, Katsoki says, when we got married, my wife and I had to make a point that we as a couple are her new family, and she was putting us first. I think that's an interesting and important conversation to have. I will say, I think that it's fair for a husband and a wife to agree our direct unit comes before the larger family. You know what I mean? Like, we have to prioritize this exact small bubble that we're building, you know, above all else, but we don't give up on the rest of our family. I think that's kind of fair, honestly. You know, you can't extend your resources out and then destroy your own family to keep other people's afloat. Absolutely, that makes sense. But yeah, there's got to be a really good reason to ask someone to cut off their entire family. Okay, especially after you just raved about how there's nothing wrong with her family. The only thing that's wrong with her family is that her loving them, in your mind, somehow takes love away from you, I guess. It means that she has to redirect her attention occasionally, and that's, I guess, like, suddenly a deal breaker. We hope and we pray that he can articulate what were very drunken thoughts into a better resolution going forward. But I don't know if that will be the case. Also, let me see what video we're on. I'm going to get rid of the other ones so I don't accidentally repeat videos. Okay. I'm going to read this real quick. I don't get how he doesn't see where he screwed up. He kept her locked here, away from her family, and didn't allow her to go back to her country. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh man, we're sipping a little bit too much Delulu juice in this situation. This one also seems to be very well received here.
Been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean. In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, and especially to the government, I'm not happy. And if she drops the word abused or anything along those lines, the American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any allegations that she makes.
Kind of as they should.
And
kind of. Trust me, I get it. Trust me, I know that there are aspects of the Me Too movement that was taken advantage of. Absolutely, I understand that. But, like, I mean, yeah, if a woman's unhappy, she should be allowed to get a divorce, just like a man should be allowed to get a divorce if he's unhappy. If a woman has been abused, people should step in to investigate it, absolutely. Do I think that there's a little bit too much weaponization power behind that sometimes? Yeah, but this is another issue with, like, red pill culture, is we take the fear of getting Me Too'd, and then we make it to where, like, we almost don't want to believe any allegation because of the possibility that it could be a false allegation. Like, I mean, we should still investigate every allegation, for sure. I think that's a good part of our government and legal systems.
Side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil, controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude. And the narrative quickly, instantly becomes me bad, she victim. So the fight that we're having, that's still there, okay? That's always going to hang over my head. I'm a passport bro. I brought her here. I married her here. I signed all the government forms saying that I will support her for a minimum of 10 or 1,000 years. I don't know. And we even know what I signed.
I mean, let this be a lesson, though. Yeah. Yeah, let this be a lesson. One big theme on this channel and during these live streams is, what do I always say, everybody? We can't save these hoes. Only God can save these hoes. The best we can do is learn from their situations. And in this situation, if any of you were out there considering becoming a passport bro, thinking that this might be like your easy solution to get away from the troubles and ails of Western women, clearly the problems do not just magically eviscerate. You just get new, different problems. Culturally, understanding things, having to fly them out to see their family, having to deal with, having to wear the mantle of every patriarchal, oppressive white dude who's ever been out there, you know, and kind of having to supersede those expectations and beliefs of you and almost like have to prove yourself on a regular basis. Yeah, that's the shoes that you will have to fill as a passport bro. Yeah, lesson learned for sure.
And all you dudes out there who have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking
about. Wait, Erigar, did he say he took her passport away from her? Or did she say that? I don't remember that, but if that's true, that's extremely fucked. Because then, even if she can't afford to go on her own, he's still making it 10 times more difficult, so that's messed up.
Talking about. Americanized means weaponization of the male-female relationship to benefit the female, because family court is not a judicial system, it's a corporation. For profit.
Okay, bars. Okay, bars there, though, actually. Yeah, we gotta give him that point. You know how I feel about family court. I'm not even gonna... You take the mic for that one, buddy, but the rest we might have to take it back.
Digging into the pockets of dads, of men. Because, yeah, we're in a patriarchal system and men still have most of the money.
I will say, though, they're definitely coming for us women. Okay? Let it be known. If I were to divorce TJ today... He would be good. He would be good off the child support. He would be good off the alimony. They would fucking rake me, dog. Like, that system's out for blood. They don't even care about the gender at this point in time. In 2025, it's going to be men and women getting absolutely milked, dude.
No, that's exactly what's true in our relationship. She doesn't have any money. I have all the money. And it's, you know, a relationship can go south.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You married her. That's the funny... Guys, come on. Let's learn a lesson here about marriage real quick. If you are under any fucking illusion that when you put a ring on someone else's finger, you have my money and their money, let me just slap some reality into you, because no, you don't. As soon as you become married, the minute that signed document goes to your county clerk's office, there is no fucking my money and their money. Not at all. Because the second you divorce, whether it's the very next day, 10 years from now, what have you, they're looking at it as 50-50. That's all they care about in every single state. You think that's your money, Chad? Nay, nay. See, you have 2 kids together and she has a ring on her finger. So any money you think is yours, cut it in half. That's what's really yours. Again, I'm not happy about that necessarily. It is a little bit terrifying to think about, but we gotta live in the reality, guys. We can't my money, her money. Your money is her money.
When the woman has lost love for her man and she's just going for the bag, and if she goes for the bag, she's going to get a huge portion of that. That's what I mean by Americanized.
Okay, so he's aware of that.
Jan is solidly Filipina, and that comes with a lot of stuff, and one of those things is she's going to be fiercely defensive for her family, her mom and dad. In this whole fight,
dude, that's what's so crazy is, like, where do you think you're going to find any woman who's 100% okay with being completely removed from her family? Dude, even the ones who aren't cool with their family like that would still have reservations about that, purely on the basis that it is extremely controlling behavior. You know what I mean? Like, the Western, Eastern, Northern, Southern, ain't no woman on this earth who's gonna be happily taken away from her parents. That's the reason I'm the fucking dad advocate. Come on.
Is hinging on the fact that I disrespected her mom and dad. Never mind that they disrespected me too. We'll get into that later. But Jan is not Americanized in that she's materialistic or even greedy.
Dude,
But
you had a submissive, non-materialistic, non-greedy woman who was cleaning your house and bringing you snacks, and you could have just kept having that for years to come, and you still chose to ruin it all by disrespecting one of the coolest fathers in the world? Come on.
She knows the support that she would get if things really got ugly between us. The American system is on her side, not mine, not the man's. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, that's it for now. More later. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Let's find out. What did her dad do to you? What did this sweet man do? If he takes that bike back, I will be pissed.
She buried her.
Okay.
She buried herself under the covers and said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's my husband." What?
Oh, so now he's trying to do the thing of making her look like she's crazy for being reactive to a high conflict situation. Okay.
Hey everybody, Chad2Dad here. What's really surprising me are the passport bros, the passport bro community coming at me as hard as the bitter divorcees.
Hold on, I'm going to restart this in a second. I want to react to Dylan Bowser's solitaire comment, just because while we're on the topic of loving dads, my dad plays Spider Solitaire every single day of his life. Every single time I come home and walk in those doors, I always know where I'm going to find my dad. And it's playing solitaire. So I love that you have found your keyboard shortcuts. I love that you're now playing solitaire like a true World of Warcraft bro too. Like, you have advanced. Like, you and this is how my dad would be playing solitaire if he was like a true gamer bro. Anyway, okay, let's get back to the content.
Saying that she buried herself under the covers and said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's my husband." What? Hey everybody, Chad2Dad here. What's really surprising me are the passport bros, the passport bro community coming at me as hard as the bitter divorcees.
And isn't that crazy too? That like you don't even have your own people on your side. Like, my brother in Christ, this is how you know you fucked up. Is when like the passport bros, you've got like the dadvocate, the person who literally exists to try to like see the father's perspective, even if it's like a viewpoint that I might not ordinarily have agreed with. Like, I tried so hard, and this is how you know that like you messed this one up, bud.
Saying that I'm giving up the gig, that I'm ruining it for them, that I'm giving the bitter has-beens too much ammunition and fodder, that it's been quiet for a little while in the passport bro world, and so this is the chickens coming home to roost. You know, this is the shoe dropping. All the bros that went out during...
He said giving the bitter has-beens more fodder. Damn, this is truly like, it sucks that he's not doing the inner work. It really sucks, because his pregnant wife and kids could really use him to take a step back, get offline, and be like, I really fucked up here, didn't I? If I simply do something grand to make it up to her parents and, you know, agree to do whatever I need to do the work to show her that this is not going to happen again, she can feel secure and safe with me, like, that's the resolution that actually could have potentially gotten you out of this mess. But now, instead of doing that, you're just deciding that anyone who disagrees with you is like some bitter, washed up has-been. And like, sir, I hope you're not talking about like, you know, maybe 50-year-old women who got abandoned by their husbands because some of those washed up has-beens are funding your family vacations. Okay, so maybe like let's take a step back.
Pandemic, to get the bride and come back and all starting to have problems now. I don't know. Okay, I'm just being honest about the problems that I'm having with JN, and I don't know if it has anything to do with Passport Bros or just us as individuals. But I would tell a little story for all you Passport Bros. Think that you discovered something or you're onto something that's now being ruined. This was going on way, way sooner than now, long before social media, long before the internet.
True.
Let me tell you a story about Zenaida Batos. 1985, I'm taking a break from college.
Okay, he like says a name and then the name is like censored and then it says on screen she was 18 years old. Oh, okay.
19 years old, and I want to get in the real world, so I started a job as a print operator at Postal Instant Press on Kapiolani Boulevard near Ala Moana Center. And one day she got hired as a receptionist. Cute, super cute Filipina. She asked me out on a date. So I borrowed my brother's old Corolla and picked her up. I had a hot date. It was really nice. And she said, "You want to come back to my place?" I said, "Okay." So we came back, went to her place, and we had a good time. She was living in a house with 4 or 5 other women in her own room, and I thought that was cool, just working girl. The next morning, about 6:30, there's massive disturbance outside in the living room. And she buried herself under the covers and said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's my husband." What? So I pull up my shorts and I go out into the living room and she's kind of following me. And
wait, so the clip of the pulling up the covers of my husband wasn't even referring to Jayan. He took a clip from this other story about some 18-year-old Filipina girl and then clipped it to start his last video? Maybe he had like a boomer moment with the technology or something and like clipped in the wrong thing or something. But that's... Okay.
And this really super old dude, he must have been at least 30, was standing in the living room with his fist bunched looking like he was about to kill somebody.
This is so funny. So now... I don't even care how this story ends. We'll finish it. We will. I know some of you are curious, but this is so funny to me because he's describing a story about, Passport Bros have always been a thing. Because I remember one time I had a super hot date with a super hot Filipina woman, but then the next morning her super old 30-year-old husband shows up. Okay. Let's do some very basic math here. If that man was super old at 30, and this year you will be turning 60, you're the fucking crypt keeper. You are death itself, okay? Super old 30-year-old? Sir... There's no super old 30-year-olds. Yeah, you might not feel as 20 anymore by 30, but you are a baby in this world. Who are you to be calling any sort of 30-year-old? And I get that this is your perspective as a 19-year-old, but no reflection in saying it now. Dude, this is about to be you and your girl. You're about to be the super old husband pounding with his fists all balled up while this other guy's making a TikTok about you. Really think about that. Wow, the Ouroboros eating its own tail in real time.
He took one look at me and I took a look at him and I knew the deal. And he looked past me to Zenaida and said, "Come home." And she just shrunk back in her room. And then the other ladies in the house sort of stepped in to, tell him he needed to leave. This was inappropriate. Things were going to get ugly. And man, I had my shirt in my hand and my slippers already on my feet and I was out the door.
Well, come on. If this is a Filipino house, your slippers should not be on your feet in this situation. Those are 2 weapons right there. You get your chancla and you go to true Filipino war. Okay? Look, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, moving on.
Zenaida didn't come back to work the next day, and I don't know what happened to her. But she was a mail-order bride. This is before the internet, as I already said, when you had to flip at the back of a magazine and see pictures and then respond to ads and then make calls and then fill out forms to get a bride that you probably didn't have any chance of knowing.
So you're telling me that God gave you the cheat sheet ages in advance? God literally handed you a big old red flag and a warning sign on a silver platter to you in your youth, and you still chose to go become that husband? Like, come on, dude. You literally received the prophecy. The future of your days were foretold. And you still went and did it. This is like in the Bible when they're literally like, when the cock crows 3 times, I'll know that I'm being lied to. And the dude's like still trying to lie to Jesus. The rooster's like crowing and he's like, oh shit, you said that was gonna happen if I lied, didn't you? And Jesus is like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna keep lying. Like, you had your chance. We tried to tell you. Let's finish this video, man.
Or communicating with before she arrived. So, passport bros these days, they have a lot of tools at their disposal to establish communication rapport and use the emotional energy that it takes to create a relationship before you import somebody over here.
Yeah. Stop saying import.
Don't come at me, passport bros. This is an evolution, not the end. Thanks for watching. Bye.
So he's like, none of these experiences, not that experience that he just described where his Filipino coworker may have literally been murdered from the sounds of it. He just says that she stopped showing up and he doesn't know what happened to her and that everyone in that house was terrified for her as he like got the God of Dodge and was terrified and ran away with his tail between his legs. Not that experience or the current hellscape that he is very publicly going through now has altered in any way his view of passport bros. No, he is doubling down. He's like, listen, we are not giving up the fight, brothers. We must only get bigger and better. We're just not doing it good enough yet. That's all. We're not doing anything wrong. We just aren't doing it right enough yet. This is so crazy. Okay.
Hey guys.
All right, we have a JN second update.
Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an update. I am safe and the kids are safe, and I just wanted to thank all of you for your positive comments, supporting me through this process. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I am not setting up any GoFundMe or any donations. It's because I don't want to disappoint people, and part of my culture as much as possible, especially you have children, if you can work things out, just work things out. Since the day that I shared my side of the
Okay, so she's saying that she doesn't want to set up a GoFundMe or accept donations because she doesn't want to disappoint anybody if she chooses to stay and work things out with him. So it seems as though, in spite of everything, she is still leaning that way. And I mean, like, this happens a lot, especially when women become pregnant, is they're like, well, I can't leave now. That's why the concept of baby trapping is a thing, you know, both for men and women. When you find out you're going to be a parent, you're not inclined to leave their other parent because we all know that that's ideally in the best interest of the kids, right? For the ideal situation. Obviously not always.
of the story, we have been talking, and also we came up to some resolutions and conditions that now that I am 6 weeks pregnant, I am going back to the Philippines on my second trimester. I know it's not a good idea for me to go back to the Philippines because something might happen, but for me, it's really important for me to go back. It's because this is also one of our problems, one of the root of our problems, that me longing to my home country and him thinking that I don't like to be in here. So we're just resolving little by little. I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission, and this needs to be discussed. So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works. Honestly, I'm not the typical Filipina that's sending money to support my family back home. And
damn, so you're telling me that you got the mail order bride treatment, you're not even getting an allowance? You have to ask for money? Wow, dang, okay. You live in a mansion, but you have to ask for money. Okay.
I cannot send any money because I don't have it, first of all. And also, my family have a business in Manila. We have businesses there. Our parents sent us to a nice school growing up. So basically, we have the money growing up. And I honestly have to say this, that I have eaten really great restaurants back home than here because it's really expensive here. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you everybody.
Wow. So her update is basically her saying she's trying to work things out with him. as of right now, it seems as though she may be calling off the separation with the recent pregnancy announcement. She clarifies that she does not receive an allowance. She has to ask for any money that she wants. And also that, you know, she doesn't come from like a very poor background, but just like generally middle class. And even says that she actually ate better when she was over there, which is kind of sad because this guy, again, has a mansion. He should be able to take her out to slightly nicer, better places. But it does seem like they eat pretty well. I don't know, that might just be like a food palette choice, I guess. Either way, I don't think the comments were very happy about her saying that she's considering staying. Hold on, let me see if
Hey guys.
Okay, I was trying to see if this was another video, but it's not. Let's see these comments real quick. Don't stay for the kids. You are not a disappointment. Don't stay for the kids. So yeah, everyone is like, no, Jan, no. Now, that has been... Oh, sorry,
A day
I
in
won't
the
do this
life
again.
of a Filipino housewife. Kapag sinasabihan ako
Okay.
na gold digger.
That has been the latest... Oh, never mind. This one was actually, like, just posted. Okay. So we'll watch that after his. Looks like there's a new one in real time. Fun. Okay. We'll get to that, though. First, let's hear how Chad ends up responding to her next video. Oh, she said this food is very expensive here. Okay, so it's basically less expensive to eat good food over there. That makes sense.
Disaster. They came here just...
The 5 things that I did to disrespect my Filipino in-laws.
Oh boy, okay. So the self-reports are continuing to come out here. The 5 things he did to disrespect his Filipino in-laws. Oh boy.
Now I qualify Filipino because different cultures get disrespected in different ways. So don't come at me for being a racist. This is the context. Hi, Chad2Dad here.
Wait, is he like trying to forward this by trying to like prelude that, well, Americans wouldn't find this offensive, but you have to understand, like, Filipino people, they're like really sensitive, so that's the only reason they were offended, but like no one else would be. Like, that's the kind of vibe I got from that, because otherwise, unless maybe people have been calling him racist, I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen when you're like, I imported my Filipina. You could have chosen less racial language.
Had a horrible Disney World experience with my in-laws, and I'm just going to tell my side of it. Not my...
Okay. When he says, I had a horrible Disney experience with my in-laws, but he's about to tell us all the things he did wrong, it reminds me of when Chelsea refers to cheaters as people experiencing infidelity. Like, the rhetoric game is strong. Strong like bull.
My side of the story, but I'm going to say what I did to disrespect my Filipino mother and father, and as well as my sister. Number 1, I did not eat the food that they cooked. It wasn't because I didn't like it, and it wasn't because I wasn't hungry. It's because I protested.
Okay. Kind of had me in the first half, not gonna lie. He's like, well, the first thing I pissed them off was I didn't eat their food. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, I could see that being like a miscommunication if like you're not hungry or something like that, and then they're like, this is an attack on my culture. Like, I could see that being lost in translation, but then he literally says he did it to protest. Like, he was doing it to be an asshole. So, okay.
I didn't eat the food that they cooked. And then number 2, when they left the food out on the table, that stayed out all day, when we came back from one of the Disney World days, I called them slobs for leaving the food out.
Yeah, okay. This is looking really bad so far. Don't get me wrong, if I like have guests over and they make like a regular habit of leaving good food out to spoil, especially if it's food that like I eat or like I made, like that would upset me. We would have a conversation probably at some point. But it's day 1. You admit yourself that you have so far been the antagonist, and now after having a long full day at Disney, which like should have been fun, you're going to start name calling. Okay.
Number 3. I clapped sarcastically when Mama finally stepped in and helped Jan by bathing the kids after a long day. I clapped loud and long and sarcastically.
What? Now, why would you do that, Chad2Dad? I am trying so hard to root for you, but, like, now why would you do that? And, like, if you're gonna do this list and, like, take accountability to Jayanne so that she can understand that you know exactly what you did that was disrespectful, that's great, but the way that it's translating to me is, like, almost like you're saying what you did, but not fully saying, like, how you know it to be wrong. Like, so you're telling me he says when her mom finally stepped in to help, like, no, because I know a Filipino woman. There is not a chance on God's green earth that she was walking around all day at Disney not once asking to help with the children. There's no way, dude. Samantha says, can't buy good taste, Filipino food, delicious. True. Very true. Like, truly, you're not going to be eating any of that? You're crazy. But, so, he says finally helps with the bath, and you're obviously not doing anything. You're just standing there in the hallway going, good job. Good job finally helping. Dude, like, you're lucky you did not get hit with a sandal, dude. I would be so pissed by that point.
Number 4. I snatched the keys out of Papa's hands. He spent his morning loading the car up, getting ready to go back to Georgia, and he went to hand the keys to me, and I just snatched them out of his hand and went down to start the car. And number 5.
Why? Why are you being so mean to Papa and Mama? Why?
I told Ate, fuck you too, when she said that I was being a bad host. All right, that's the facts. That's the truth.
So then when Ate, big sister, says you're being a bad host, which by all self-proclamations seems to be the case, you said F you too. Okay, so we're just cussing at the family, calling them names. This is all incredibly disrespectful.
Those are the top 5 things that I did.
Wait. Those weren't even just the 5 things. Those were just the top 5 things. But there's more, sir. Go to your room. You're grounded. You're grounded from passport broing. You gotta.
And my sister-in-law. I'm gonna make things right.
Okay.
But it's too soon for that.
What?
Okay. I'm gonna make things right. But it's too soon for that.
Okay. It's one thing to be like, I want to make things right, but I feel like it's too late, which is usually, sometimes is the case, but sometimes is not. Sometimes it's not too late to make things right. But in this case, he says, I want to make things right, but it's too soon. I don't think there's such a thing as too soon to make things right. I think you're already in the too late camp. I think we're very far past, if there was a too soon, I think we're way past that and dangerously in too late territory. By the time your wife says she wants to separate, you're in the too late realm. Okay, if you want to make things right, there is definitely not a too soon here. Okay? Oh, brother!
I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission and this needs to be discussed.
This is his response.
So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works.
Everybody, Chad2Dad here, coming at you with some more rage bait, which I just simply call the truth in reality. And I'm happy today because I get to spend some time with my son as I do a little remodeling in my basement that I've been hanging out. Now, I saw my wife post on TikTok yesterday, I think it was, that she has to.
Don't film this shit around your kids. Come on, brother. Like, you're working on something with your kids. You're spending quality time. Just stay the course on that. Come on, if you absolutely need to update us for some reason, if you absolutely feel the need that you need to clarify some things to the general public, wait until you're not with the kids anymore. Just find some time. Wait until they're taking a nap. They don't need to hear this, okay? That kid is fully standing and, like, painting the wall. That kid could donate their hair to Make-A-Wish, okay? That kid is old enough to hear what you're saying. Okay, you didn't even leave the room. You didn't even close the door.
Just ask permission to get money. Yeah, actually, that's true. When I thought about it, I realized that was pretty fucking embarrassing. It's not like I spend a lot of money on myself. I don't go drinking with the boys or golfing or play video games, stuff like that. See, my philosophy is the money that I earn is the family's money. There's no mine and all that.
Okay, so things have changed a bit. So if you missed it, he basically just admitted, like, you know, when Jan came online and told you all that she does not receive an allowance and that she has to ask for any money that she gets, that's true. He then pivots into saying that his big belief that he's always had is that his money is the family's money. But earlier he literally just said my money, her money, right?
But, you know, what she said was pretty triggering. So I want to tell you something. I've come up with a plan. And the plan is for Jan to earn the money that she wants.
I gotta... This man did not just fucking... Did this man just fucking say what I think he just said? I need an emotional support cat. Come here, Mochi. Oh, we need to take a breather. Okay. Mochi. Do you want to know what this man just said? He said his money is her money, so he's gonna make her earn it. I know. Look how unimpressed Mochi is with your behavior. He hates to see it, okay? We are not about this life. Oh my God.
And how we can do that? She started a business. She started a business as a landlord. That way, she can file taxes and contribute to Social Security. She needs to do that anyway to become a U.S. citizen and learn responsibility with money. Landlords have a lot of responsibility. They have a lot of overhead, right? The construction that I'm doing down here, she's going to have to pay for that out of the first couple, 3, 4, 6 months of the rent.
What? I'm sorry, everyone with headphones listening. I'm sorry for peeking the microphone. I do apologize for that. But what the fuck did you just say? What the fuck did you just say? No fucking way. Is this man renovating his own house and goes, don't worry, everybody. I have a solution. I know that my wife is expressing that she may be experiencing literal financial abuse because she basically has to beg me for any of the family income that she actually has complete right to access per the marital vows that I signed legally for. No, my resolution for that is she's going to pay me to work on my own house so that I can eventually give her some sprinkle of income. Okay. That's about all the charitability I have left for this dude. He's fucking delusional. This is like his schizo arc, truly, because he is getting every opportunity to live like a king. He nailed it. He nailed what so many men want, which is like a beautiful young bride able to bear many children with seemingly no effect on her figure whatsoever. Beautiful, perfect skin, respect and love and admiration for her father, submissive, cleans the home, brings you snacks, very present and affectionate with the children, even willing to keep working on things with you after you have made the most embarrassing spectacle of your lives, and you still find ways to keep fucking it up? This is a remarkable talent. This is a superpower that no one actually needed to receive in their X gene. Like, this is a very unique skill set that is so unwarranted. I'm impressed by how bad at this you are. This is... What? This is, like, really upsetting to me. This is, like, the same feeling I get when people are like, yeah, my parents are paying for me 100% to go to university. Like, they're alone taking out all the loans and taking on all the risks, and then they fail and drop out. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same feeling I get, is it's like, you had everything. You had something that so few people in the world get even a glimpse of access to, and you just don't care. That's so frustrating. Sorry, I have mochi fur all over me. I did that to myself. Wow, Michael is, okay. Michael has an interesting take here. Talk about the devil's advocate. Michael says, he is within his rights to control his household. Well, welcome to America, baby, because so is she. Ain't that some shit? And I don't know how things are in other countries, right? There might be some other countries where the man is legally the head of the household and the woman don't have shit for power. But you brought her to America, good sir, where she has just as much right to control the household as you do. Even if you earned all the money, you gave her half of it when you put that ring on her finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, did I kill my camera? Hold on, I gotta change my camera battery. This will just take a second. She died. We streamed too long. Alright, let's pop that sucker on out. Switch this battery on in. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Ta-da! Yeah, I have like a million backup batteries. I at least have that on lock. Anyway. Yeah, harsh truth. Staying true to the handle says she's within her rights to take his shit. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay. So this just in, now that I'm actually paying attention to the chat. If you may have noticed, we have a special visitor in the chat. Chad2Dad is actually here and has made it into the stream chat. Oh, buddy, I will say, it's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be a rough one. I tried really hard to go to bat for you in the beginning, but you might have to keep hearing some harsh truths on this stream, my friend. I hate to say it, but yeah, if anybody has any direct words to say to Chad2Dad, I just saw him in the chat, so he actually might be here listening, and if you have anything specific you want to say to him, pop off, you know? Damn, okay. Well, we're about to finish watching these videos.
And any maintenance and support that I give her, she got to pay me like a handyman. And learn responsibility with money by running a business, profit, loss, everything else. Yeah, early on in our marriage, after about a year, I just stopped giving her money because I was getting pissed off at the waste, right? And another thing is, I don't feel like a wife should get paid to be a mom, right? You're both contributing to the family.
Okay, so wait. I'm trying to piece together everything you just said. He said he used to give her money, but then he got pissed off with the waste. Oh, sorry, I was not showing you guys the video of that. I'll bring it back on. But it's like, this is confusing to me because he just said earlier that she's not materialistic, she's not greedy. That's like that can be a really hard part about being the sole income earner. This is also why I would never want to be in the position of being the only income earner and then being responsible for someone else's allowance, because I don't ever want to be in the position of like getting annoyed by what they spend their money on. Does that make sense? Like, with me and TJ, like, we have our bills, like, paid. Like, we have our money that goes into the bills ahead of time, and then whatever else we have extra, we can put into our own, like, bank account so we can still surprise each other with things. But, like, as long as the bills are paid, whatever random ass Amazon packages TJ comes home with, or like random Dungeons and Dragons, like bestiary books or whatever, like I'm not gonna worry about it. And that's because we both earn our own money and he's able to do that. You know what I mean? That's one reason I would never want to be in this situation. That's why you have to really prepare your mindset. If you are going to be like, I'm going to become a passport bro, they're going to spend your money on stupid shit. Even if it's not actually stupid, there's going to be stuff that you consider a waste of money, or like stuff you would have never bought yourself. That's just part of it. If you really want to be the sole income earner, you know?
With your sweat equity. I use sweat equity as well as cash.
Okay, also, yeah, the next point. I don't think moms should be paid to be moms. So this is actually interesting because this is actually a point that I brought up in like one of my first ever videos when I first became the Dadvocate. Was I once argued with a woman who argued that all mothers should be paid as surrogates. That every mother should receive surrogate pay. And I was like, that's kind of freaking ridiculous. You know, like I remember having the same thought of like, no, you shouldn't be, if that's your own kid, then no, you shouldn't be paid. Like the whole point of why you're paid for surrogacy is because you're surrendering your own body to someone else. You don't get to keep that baby. You know what I mean? You're selling your pregnancy basically, if that makes sense. So that was crazy, but at the same time, I don't know if I like this viewpoint because, yeah, no, I don't necessarily know that it's normal to be like, here's your paycheck for being a stay-at-home mom. I sure don't know any moms who would complain, though. This also goes back to the whole argument of, like, it invalidates that domestic labor is still labor. You know what I mean? And if you are going to be the sole income earner, unfortunately, yeah, you owe the non-working spouse some kind of like allowance, some access to money, even if it's like not all of it, even if you're the financial one and you want some away in savings and you're like, please don't touch this, this is what we need for savings, that's fair, but they need to be able to access money and not just on conditional terms where they have to work for it, or they have to make sure that it's not spent on stupid stuff and only spent on what you want to spend it on. Like that's a big thing you have to overcome if you want to be a true passport bro.
And a mom taking care of kids, being a stay-at-home mom, that's her investment in the family. I don't think you should get paid to be a mom. So I don't know if this will work, but I think I found a way for Jan to generate the income that she wants, contribute to her citizenship, and earn the money that she has so that she can be more responsible for it. And stop saying that she needs permission from me to spend money or to get money. Thanks. Bye.
Ooh, I don't know if this was it. It's like he's almost there. Like he's halfway to a decent idea. Like, I think it's actually a good idea to say like, hey, how about, you know, as part of like your integration into the world, like, what if I let you be a landlord? That way you can earn your own money, you can build a career so that, you know, even when I am long passed away, you can continue to work in real estate and in the housing market, and you'll know what to do, how to buy and sell homes and fix them up. Like, that's actually a really good idea. But to make her having access to the family money contingent on doing so, that's where we're still under the financial abuse umbrella. Unfortunately, that's where we're still under the like dance monkey, if you want anything, bubble that people are really locking in and criticizing. It's like we're almost there. What I think he needs is I think he needs more guy friends, honestly. Like, I don't know what he does for work. I don't know if there's like a team of good old boys that he has access to, but if he does, he needs them right now. It is time to call in the council and to like meet up with the boys, because if he had the boys involved, they would not be letting him do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone would have like reeled him back in by now, at least a little bit. But I feel like I don't know if he's got anybody in his corner being like, dude, no, don't do that, you're gonna fuck it up. One more.
Somehow my ex-wife got dragged into this story, as the sponsor of everything that I'm broke, and my ex-wife paid for the Disney World trip, the airfare, and everything. And that's interesting because we just worked out the bill to reimburse her because she did book the Disney World trip as a matter of convenience. But I owe her back $803.80 minus.
How much?
As a matter of convenience. But I owe her back $803.80.
$803. Okay, but they spent multiple days at Disney. The airfare, the Airbnb. $800 is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like, if she paid anything toward that trip, I'm still confused as to why, quite frankly. But okay, so apparently he still owes her $800. Okay, I can tell that the financial prospect of this, it being told that his ex-wife paid for half of it, kind of bothers him a little bit. Again, I think that's a flex on his side, quite frankly. Having an ex-wife willing to pay for your vacations, I would consider that a flex.
Minus the airfare that I paid for her to go over. But in that conversation with my ex, gave her an update on what's happening with Jan and I. And at the end of the conversation, she said, "You guys are liars." I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "You're making this up. You know, you're just making up this drama for views. You know, you both like social media, and it's just bullshit."
Okay, so he does have a counsel. As it turns out, I mean, a few of you actually had that hypothesis. A few of you were like, what are the odds that they're both just in it for the clout? You know, that's always a theory whenever these kinds of things go viral. I do think it's real, personally, but it's not a 0 odds chance that they're both just doing it for the clout.
And I said, no, we were liars before this. We were kidding ourselves before the Disney World disaster. You know, we were putting out there that we were this perfect couple who...
Okay, if Chad2Dad, if you're still listening, can you please clarify what they did to disrespect you? Because you said that you were going to. There's still like 5 minutes left of this video, so maybe you will in this video, but it's like, we know very much what you did wrong. What did they do to disrespect you? Because it's really hard to be on your side right now. You've done nothing but like incriminate yourself and self-report and make yourself look really bad. What did they do to you? Because it keeps being referred to as like this Disney World disaster, the horrible thing that happened at Disney, but all we know that happened is that you were a huge asshole for seemingly no reason. I need something to try and be on your side.
Beating the odds, that we could overcome the age gap, culture gap, power gap, and everything else. And that I, late in life, achieved my dream of having children, and she achieved her dream of getting out of poverty. Well, that was the lie. We were liars before this, and now we're facing the truth. And the truth is, yeah, we have the fundamental problems of any marriage, but we have completely different expectations. We had different expectations of how life would go with this, you know, massive challenge before us. And I've always believed, and I do believe Jan believed, that it was driven by love. It doesn't override the transactional nature of our relationship, the way every relationship has transactional natures. But it's gotten really real because Jan and I have been talking, and she's going to go back to the Philippines. Here's the letter. Hi, baby loves. I'm writing you a letter to tell you formally that I will go back to the Philippines on my second trimester, second week of April 2025. I know that it's going to be hard on you, me taking the kids back to my own country, but I think it's going to be the best decision to work our falling relationship. I'd also like to have a written letter that you are allowing me to take the kids, allowing me to take the kids with me. I don't want to be in a position where I am being accused of something I have no intention of doing. The kids will be taken care very well with my family's help, as well as me during this pregnancy. I hope this time frame being away would also help you to focus on your work and business, Jan. So the plan is, she will go back because she will get better support from her family there. Because here in Hawaii, it's just us. It's just two parents, you know, raising two toddlers and now, you know, a third on the way. Well, it's scary. It's scary for both of us because, you know, for me, it's if it's a willing departure, then I trust that she comes back. She wants to come.
Ooh, this one's scary. Oh, you said Chad2Dad. Okay. Okay, Chad2Dad says, I'll backstory what happened at Disney World. Okay. Yeah, this is like kind of the final video anyway, so we can, after this, we'll definitely have a lot more time to just sit and chat and see what Chad2Dad has to say about this. But I will say, like, going back, and Chad, I don't know if you, I don't even think your name is actually Chad. Is it? Is it actually Chad? I'm going to call you Chad2Dad. It's fine. But earlier in the stream, I had addressed that it is freaking terrifying and tons of men's worst nightmare, many dads' worst nightmare, to be with a woman who has connections to a different country and then have her go, oh, I'm going to take the kids and we're just going to visit, and then they never come back. This is a lot of men's devastating reality, and so at no point, while I have been incredibly critical of this entire story, absolutely, at no point do I want to underscore the absolute terror and fear that any parent would feel having their children taken to a foreign country where you now have lost all control. And before we finish this video, and while we wait to hear from Chad2Dad, I am curious, I'm curious how easy, let me ask, how easy would it be? Wait, this is the better question to ask. Would it be do the Philippines have extradition treaty with US? Okay. So the United States and the Philippines do have an extradition treaty. So I will say the odds of her being able to successfully kidnap American-born children, she could do it. It would still take a ton of paperwork and be a pain in the ass for sure. But I think that they would probably end up extraditing the kids back. Gus, you're here! Caught up for the first stream. Yay! Dang, that must have been crazy. A crazy journey, huh? Okay. Alright. I'm wondering, though, let me see. Mom kidnaps American kids to Philippines. Let me see if there's, like, any stories of successful... Let's do parental kidnapping. Can a mom take kids to Philippines and keep them there? This was literally a fear that, like, actually my husband had the first time that his ex took his son to the Philippines. Like, she has never lived there, but they have family there, and he was like, I don't think she would ever leave America for the Philippines, but... It's always scary when your ex takes your kids to a foreign country without you. Always scary. A mother can take her children to the Philippines. Whether she can keep them there depends on specific circumstances, including the custody arrangement. Well, that's the thing. They're not even divorced yet. So there's really no custody arrangement because they're in the wild, wild west stage of it all right now. Okay, let's finish his one video.
Come back in the final trimester and have our third child here in Hawaii because it's better to have a child in America. That's a good part of being Americanized, I guess, because our first child was born in Manila and deconstructed meningitis.
Oh shit, okay, this is a game changer. So their first child was born in Manila. So that could change things. And I don't know, family courts can be really weird. It would not surprise me if she goes over there to the Philippines while pregnant and is like, well, listen, the first child was already born here. Only the second child was born in America. The third child has a good chance of being born here. How about you guys just give me Filipino custody of the children and I live with my parents? And they might just be like, yeah, sure. Great. We love that. They might. That's a real possibility, I will say.
In the hospital and was in NICU for 14 days. And then she's trusting me to take care of them, provide them with everything they need while they're there. And the hardest part will be, for me personally, being away from my children. And I know it will be hard for Jayan because, you know, I'm very bonded to them. They're very bonded to me, and she enjoys seeing that. That's what a family is. That's also the reason why the Disney World trip happened and not her going back to the Philippines because she was homesick. I know she mentioned in an earlier post that I reneged on an agreement that she could go back for a couple of months. And the real reason I reneged on that is because after I'd agreed to it and actually booked the tickets, I was going to be without my children for 3 months. And it wasn't
Well, yeah. Yeah. And trust me, I get that. This whole situation sucks. What it sounds like he's saying is that he was originally going to let her go back to the Philippines for the 3 months, but then he was like, the more he thought about it, the more he was just dreading it and not looking forward to it. And so he decided to try to like compromise by being like, how about instead of you going back to the Philippines for the 3 months, we bring your family here and we go to Disney for 5 days. That's just as good, right? And obviously it was not just as good, and obviously it would not have ever been just as good because the entire time he was still so pissed about it, and he let his unhealed, unexamined, uninterrogated anger manifest itself instead of like doing the inner work to be like, why am I so threatened by her relationship with her family? What am I really so insecure about? What do me and Jayan need to work out with each other to quell the insecurities that I have? Instead he just kind of fucking lashed out and just started blasting. You know what I'm saying?
bad renege or cancellation, because all I said to her was, just picture yourself being without Grace and Rocky for 3 months, and we would settle that way to be continued with something else, and the something else was the Grand Disney World trip, and I'm gonna talk about that again.
Okay, so that's my theory on that was right. He was like trying to offer it as a compromise, and it sounds like she eventually did agree to that. Michael, thank you for the pet tax. Thank you. I shall bring more fur babies toward the end of our stream, which we're wrapping it up, I will say.
Because I want to give more explanation as to why I was rude and disrespectful to her parents, but it's late, and I just need to process what we're gonna do.
Okay.
And we got 4 months.
This was posted 2 days ago.
And, I hope Jan chimes in on.
He said he hopes Jan chimes in on this. That was 2 days ago. And that's...
Somehow my ex-wife got dragged into this story as...
That's the last update from Chad2Dad. Unless he comes back in the chat, that is. Unless we get that. So let me go back to... Because Jan has a new update here. That we have not watched. Let me bring this up.
Hi, Americanized Filipino wife here. I just wanted to give you an update.
I love that she's owning the title. She's like, I'm the Americanized Filipino wife. She should just start adding imported to that as well. I'm the imported Americanized Filipino wife. That's hilarious.
Chad2Dad went out with the kids to go to the park. This is my...
Oh, I really wish we had captions for this. Can I put them on? Okay, please, give us something.
The best time to engage with you. I just wanted to apologize for not engaging and posting too much. It's because if you know, the first trimester is really difficult, and I have 2 toddlers that constantly want my attention, and just a mother that keeping up with all of the mess that they did, by the way. And also, I am so overwhelmed with all of the videos and all of the tags and all of the comments saying their 2 cents, and I cannot really cope up. I didn't really realize that I will get too much of this attention, and I'm just really overwhelmed right now. I just wanted to clarify for the second time, I am not going to set up any donations or GoFundMe. It's because I think that there's right people that needed it more than me. It's because with your follows, with your support, you already changed my life. It's because I just wanted to give you an update that I'm already monetized. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. With all of the attention that I am getting, I cannot stop thinking of what is gonna be my voice, what's next to me, how am I gonna use this platform to educate women to have their own money. I just felt that I was given a responsibility to educate women that you need to have your own money, or you need to have your own skill. So if there's uncomfortable situation, you can easily get out.
Yeah, bars. You're right.
And to all of the Filipino that is defending me, I just wanted to say maraming salamat. As in, sobrang full yung heart ko kasi nararamdaman ko kayo at sobrang, oh my gosh, naiyak ako. Sobrang thank you.
Okay, I think that's generally the gist of that video. So, yeah, it seems like she's still sticking to wanting to work things out, which is it's going to be so difficult to do in the public eye. Like, even with the best intentions, because this was originally put out there, and unfortunately, like, ultimately, this was partner shaming, and it was partner shaming that was started by Chad2Dad. Is the second that the separation was first discussed, before anything had really become solidified, he brought it right onto the internet and kind of thrust this all into the spotlight. And I'm sure it was a decision that was originally just made in the heat of the moment, but obviously weeks have passed since then, and he's chosen to double down and not delete any videos, and so now they're in this really difficult place where they're going to have to try to fix a very damaged relationship under public scrutiny, and with now hundreds of thousands of people telling her to leave him. Like, it already does so much damage, social media, whenever people like post their issues online and it makes like the husband look bad. In this situation though, it was like he partner shamed himself. I know that a lot of the details ended up coming from Jayanne of like how their finances work, but she kind of had to defend herself because of the position that she was put in. And then he gave us most of the hole that was used to bury him. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one who dug almost his entire grave and then jumped into it, basically. That's kind of where we're at now. I don't know what the updates will be. She literally just posted this. I guess it wasn't actively while I was streaming. It was 14 hours ago. So it was at the like sometime last night, my time. So that's all the updates I have so far. I'm kind of curious to hear like what the full story of Disney is, if her parents actually did something that was so disrespectful that could have even possibly warranted this. But I'm gonna be honest, based off of the things that Chad2Dad himself has admitted and copped to, being that he simply doesn't like the Filipina commitment and attachment to the family, and that he was trying to cause damage to that. The fact that he himself admitted that tells me whatever her parents did to him, if really anything, was probably nothing by comparison, and if anything was very likely reactive to what he was doing to them. I guess my final thoughts on this are, do I think that they have a chance of rectifying their marriage and maybe going back to what they used to be, the couple's content that used to be, you know, successful passport bro, show their true love that shines through in spite of this? I think it is only possible if Chad2Dad takes a big wake-up call and decides to really take accountability. And I'm not just meaning like admitting to doing things and then following it up with like an explanation or a justification. I mean like saying, I effed up big time. He said once, I'm going to make it right. And I just want to see that energy, but like really honed in on, you know what I'm saying? Because there's not been a whole lot of like, I really effed up, it was wrong of me to treat them that way, I need to like absolutely make it right. Because you know, maybe like helping her go home and like work on things with her family might have been the move. But at this point, it sounds like it's just something she's decided for herself, so he doesn't even get the credit for suggesting that. I'm going to be completely honest. This is my prediction. My prediction is that she's going to go back to the Philippines and not come back. That is what I think any person in this position should realistically prepare for. I don't know enough about Filipino courts, but neither does Chad2Dad. So I'm not his life coach, but some free life advice. Start knowing your rights. If you really want access to your children, like, obviously the best thing you could do is truly like fall to your knees and beg forgiveness from Jayan and like do the work every single day to fix your problems, active recovery, constant reassurance from her end, like selflessness, give her access to the money, like really take the issues that she's been talking about seriously, because the best thing you could do is actually salvage the marriage. But you have such an uphill battle because now, because of your own actions putting this out there, you've got the entire internet on her side. And you've got a world of influence telling her to leave you. That's a superhuman force that is really hard to combat against. So this one's going to be a rough one. I don't like seeing kids taken away from their father. I don't think I've seen him do anything that I would necessarily say deserves for him to lose custody. Do I find it very likely that Jayan would be made the primary custodial parent in any circumstance? I do. I don't think that I've seen anything that's enough for me to say, yeah, he doesn't deserve to have his kids. Do you know what I'm saying? I would like to see a world where these children do get access to both of their parents, no matter how it works out. But, you know, this child, they also deserve to have access to their full family, too. And if staying in America means that they're always going to struggle to have their connection to the Philippines, that's going to be a tough one. You know, if Jayan can prove that she'll do a better job of keeping the kids connected to their American side than he will the other way around, he might have a hard time in court. But yeah, I personally would say there's a chance you can fix it, especially because she seems to be saying out loud that she does want to work on things. It's in her culture, it's in her blood, it's in her heart to work on things. You have a chance of not fucking this up, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you actually have a very real chance of turning this around, but you have many patterned behaviors that, if left unchecked and unaddressed, will cause this all to spiral for you. Unfortunately, that's it. That's the situation. I will definitely keep you guys posted if I see anything else. I haven't seen anything else from Chad2Dad in the chat. I'll check my email real quick to see if he like sent me anything about that, but I also told him I would not be reading any emails out loud unless he gave me permission. So yeah, not seeing anything about the Disney situation. So we're kind of we're kind of in wait here. Let me read some of your comments. Let me see here. The fact that she hasn't left him yet and seems to be going about everything the right way, I think she will eventually come back. Okay, so you don't think she's going to stay in the Philippines? I would hope so, but it's definitely a big possibility. I just honestly suggested couples therapy and go from there. I don't know, ball is in his court, but he has to want to try. Yeah. Michael McIntyre, welcome to the Sword and Shield gang. We love to see it. Let's see. This is their free therapy. Yeah, it's obviously not doing the work, though. That's just venting. Oh, wait, is Chad2Dad in the chat, but I can't see his comments? Or are you just tagging him from, like, his long ago chat? Maybe he's making a video now on it. Very possible, very possible. Unfortunately, I will not be able to stick around on live to watch it, just because it's about that time that I actually go and feed myself and pick up my kids. But, whew. Had to cover that commentary. I am not sure if I'll be live later this week. I'm going to look at my schedule. We might do like a shorter and a later in the day live tomorrow. I have therapy during our usual live time. But if I'm feeling fine and like in a good mood for it tomorrow, we might do the AI chatbot live stream tomorrow. That might be fun. But all right. Before we check out for today, any last words on the passport bro Chad2Dad situation? I'm trying to think if I have any other final thoughts on this. I guess, does this situation change your opinion of the entire concept of passport bros? Like, does this change anything for anyone? Because for me personally, I would say it doesn't change anything. When I went into this situation, I was of the mindset that, like, I get why some people might do it, and I get that it will always be negatively received by some large audiences, but I don't necessarily think that every passport bro situation is immediately creepy, immediately wrong, and immediately destined to fail. I think that absolutely those relationships can and do succeed. Historically, they have for a lot of people. But I think that this definitely opened my mind up to, like, the very potent risks of it all. But I don't know, I feel like I've always been aware of those risks. You know what I mean? It's a tough one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now someone else says, romance her to develop a deeper, more trusting relationship with her, not just to trick her into staying. Yes, snaps for that one. Then you don't have to worry about her returning. She may even look forward to it. Exactly. The best marriage insurance is just genuinely respecting the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? That's the best way to avoid a divorce. Not the money, not the looks. Like, genuinely respecting each other. What a concept. All right, on that note, what animal do you want me to grab to close this out with? Y'all need your pet tax, okay? I also think staying single is perfectly fine. Big advocate for being a happy single person. All right, I'm gonna go find you guys an animal to close this show out with.
Do you want to be the star of the show?
I bring you a less often seen cat. This is Catelia. She is our tortoiseshell cat, and she's also like, bitch, what the fuck?
Who do you think you are? Disturbing me during my slumber?
And I have a butt in my face. Miles would also like to say goodbye to everybody, but it's hard for you guys to see him. All right, since you're not fresh from outside, I shall allow some tomfoolery. He's like, oh God, what did I knock over? Let me just pick that up. All right, come here, Miles. Let's give the people what they want. Hugs. Who's a good baby? Who's my bestest boy? Who's the bestest? Good boy. Sit. 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 Why is this so hard for you? Sit. Miles. Good boy. Now what? Shake. Sit. Whenever I like try to get Miles to do tricks, he just starts button mashing for real. He's just trying to hit the combo breaker. I love Abby coming in at the very end of the stream with, "What's a passport, bro?" Oh no. Watch from the beginning, but definitely you'll want to skip some parts. There's some audio issues. You know, now you got my dog barking. That's so funny. Look what you've done, Miles. Set off an intercontinental chain of barkery. Well, he clearly wants to go outside again, so it's definitely about time to sign off. Keep posted. I will definitely let you guys know if I plan on going live tomorrow. It's the only other day of the week that I really could go live. But I will be around. Also, keep an eye out for the new Cheating Chelsea updates that will be posting very soon. But if you're a YouTube member or a patron, you already have access to it, so enjoy. All right, make sure you like the live. Hit subscribe if you somehow haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one.